We just start dancing. We're
I love that you guys started with the dancing when we weren't live, and then it's like, I know you can't tell, but like we go live and you just both like, no, not doing it. Welcome, welcome to Good Flickas, home of the Good Flickas. Can you take our critiques? Let's find out as we dive into Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. We're a little bit short-staffed at the moment, but our fourth will be joining us shortly. We're not really sure exactly when, hopefully within the hour, but in the meantime, we're gonna press on without him and anxiously awaiting whatever fun fact song he'll bring. But I am, of course, Matt, joined tonight with Brian.
A little tired. I was too busy bench pressing. Too busy bench pressing bulldozers.
This guy. He's got that ant strength, you know. That's what happens when you're busy crushing it as a paramedic.
Yeah.
And with us is Jen, who is bringing the big bowl tonight. Which I gotta ask because I can't tell what consistency this is. What you eating?
You don't want to know.
No, oh, we're gonna leave it at that.
It's the set of Honey, I Shrunk Your Kids.
She's eating gruel, and we will go no further. So Brian, this was your pick, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, lay it on us. Why did you pick Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
I mean, there's a couple of reasons. This one has kind of crept into our conversations over a couple times for the past movies that we've done somehow, and I don't know how, but it just did. It was kind of on my mind lately. I realized that I haven't seen it since I was probably a child myself. Like I don't I'm pretty sure last time I saw it was when I had to use a VCR to watch it. So
don't make me hunt mine down.
Huh?
I said, don't make me hunt mine down.
Yeah, it's definitely been a minute. And I don't know, we just got done with like a 3.5-er. And I'm like, I think we just need a solid 90-minute, let's go on an adventure movie. Yeah. And I was like, what better description than Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? So I was like, I think we're gonna do it. We haven't been in the Disney Vault for a while either, so it was kind of like a little twofer there. And of course, it's always fun to pick the movies apart, see what we missed as kids, and I figured we'd have fun with this one.
I miss nothing, Brian. No, this was actually really interesting. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this chat. Jen, did you want me to go first since you're current? Yeah, I had a feeling.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. This is a film I'm pretty sure I've seen as a kid. I don't remember, but I've always remembered the premise of it. Maybe it's like a memory in my brain. I don't know, but definitely not as good as I thought it was going to be. Watching it as an adult, it just like it felt very short. It felt like it was all taking place in one location. It got a little repetitive. I needed a little bit more variety. And it just didn't live up to like what I thought the hype was going to be about potentially rewatching this film if this is my rewatch. Like I guess it is like fun. Like it is a fun kids movie, and like there's some good scenes, but I just felt like overall it could have been better. And yeah, I gave it a 3.7. But it's not a terrible movie. It just didn't live up to my expectations.
Yes, definitely not my first time seeing this movie. Certainly have it on VHS and watched it many, many, many a times. I'm looking forward to talking about that when you get into the fun facts, because this was something that like I didn't realize was designed for this movie. But we'll get into it when you get into the fun facts. But yeah, really enjoyed this. It was really fun reliving it. It's been a while since I've watched these movies because they've always just kind of been a good little comfort But I don't go back to them too often. Like as far as sci-fi films, it's fun. But it's silly. It's a little meh. Um, but it's a fun Disney film. We get Rick Moranis. I mean, I don't. This is the funny thing. We don't get much of Rick Moranis. Is the funny thing, but he still crushes it. And God, I love the man. I anxiously wait a potential return at any point. I have no idea what his life will lead to, but love Rick Moranis. So would love to see him again. But just really enjoy him in these movies as this character. I think as the series goes on, it's a lot more fun to get to know him. But this was actually a really interesting thing where I've always just watched this, never really paying attention to the story. So this was fun as an adult to watch and kind of realize because I watched it with the subtitles. So this is the first time I'm hearing everything they say. And I do feel like I've certainly missed a lot of things over the years. A lot of the little minute details of this story. And I really like knowing them now. Obviously, as a child, I don't think I would have appreciated the nuance of what's happening in the backstory of this. But I think it's really interesting to go back as an adult with an adult's mind and seeing these stories and realize like, oh shit, they're actually tackling some really important things here. It's just really, it's sugar coated in a, oh no, the kids are tiny package. So I think this is a surprisingly smart film, especially for when it came out. And God, are the filmmaking techniques and doing something like this of shrinking people. It's not never been done before, but they did such a great job of taking a lot of those techniques and really doing a good job. That being said, even for 1989, I think that some of these effects could have been better, especially given Disney being involved. But I don't think it faults it because there are times where it really shines. The moments where I notice the effects does not bother me. Like it's like meh. But the other times where it's going on, I'm like, this looks really good. What happened the rest of the time? So looking forward to diving into all of that. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait to talk. I wanted to give this a flat 4, but I feel like I've been doing that a lot lately again, where I'm just kind of hitting this sort of flat number of like, it's okay, but it's not great. I'm like, so I decided to get a little saucy and I gave it a 3.99.
That's funny.
Way to tug on the reins, Matt.
Okay, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Not my first watch, but it's been a long time, so I didn't remember any of it. I didn't remember Auntie. That we'll get into it, but it was a fun watch. Like I appreciate it after last week's movie because that was a long one, and it was nice to just kind of have a short, fun adventure. But to be honest, like it didn't bring me as much, like I don't know, like good memory vibes. You know, like what I thought, like when you watch The Lion Kings, and like you're just brought back. But for me, it just didn't do that for me. And I'm thinking maybe because I was thinking of the third one, as you guys said. So maybe we'll watch that one. We don't know yet. So anyway, it was okay. Like it was okay. It was cool. Not my favorite. I'd watch it again though. I'm sounding like final thoughts.
Just got to start somewhere, Jen.
So with that, I give it a 3.4.
3.4.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm no stranger to this one. But it was definitely pretty cool going back rewatching this one. I think overall it's just a cool story premise. You know, what happens if four children who really don't know each other go on, get shrunk, and then go on an adventure of survival together? And the storyline's there, and it's really entertaining. Like Matt said, I felt that the prop the word that they used were just so amazing, and how they really made like real life people look ant size is incredible. I think they did just a phenomenal job when it comes to giving us the actual scale of size and truly making them feel tiny. Um, it's a movie that I've always enjoyed. It's not a 5 star or like crazy, it's not even an A movie. It's not, but it is a great fun adventure movie. It's the classic, like, kids love to go on adventures. They have imaginations of going into the jungle, and they're like, you know what? Let's just all completely bring it in a movie. Um, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot of cool scenes that we're going to talk about. I've got some head scratchers and I've got some nitpicks. There are some blaring nitpicks where I'm like, didn't notice these as a kid, but so it'll be fun to kind of unpack the realism behind this. But I was, unlike Matt, I was right on the flat four range. I think that this is this is just a perfect 4 out of 5 movie. Like it just seems like you think of a 4 star movie, this is probably what you're shooting for here. You're entertained, you're not blown out of the water. Some things impress you, some things don't. I think it's right there.
Yeah, I think it is one of those movies that you'll watch and you'll enjoy it, but it's not going to be some overwhelming experience.
No, definitely not.
Need to be in the good mood? Put Honey, I Shrunk the Kids on.
There you go. Yeah.
I think I would consider this like my mom always has what she calls her cleaning movies that she just puts on in the background whenever she's cleaning the house.
Yes. Yeah.
This is what I would consider a cleaning movie.
Or pop on a movie as you're cooking dinner for the family and you're getting ready for that. Yeah, exactly. Especially if you've seen it as many times as we have. You're like, oh, the bee's coming. Okay, I know where we're at, so yeah.
And I'm looking forward to chatting about that bee.
Oh yeah, no, like there's some really great scenes that we'll dive into for sure. All right. Well,
this is the time. Let's leave that dead space for him to edit over here real fast. So like, yeah. Fun fact song. We don't have one. Hopefully he comes back. But
all right, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Brian's got facts for all you bitches. Don't fuck with him because he's got the knowledge and he'll shrink your ass if you don't want to follow. Hey, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got all your favorites like Missing and Heat. Fun facts.
Nailed it, man. That was good. I'll give you claps just for the sake of it. What wonderful effort you put forth there. I'm so proud of you.
Oh my God.
That was great. I love how it started off so innocent of like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, something bitches. Like it was like, okay, that's where we're going. Fuck you. Brian, please take us away with some fun facts.
Yeah, of course. So first of all, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, that comes out in 1989. I'm a whopping 2 years old, and Jen's -1. So
the serious fans out there, my brother was also born in 89.
Yeah.
The serious fans.
I get it. Because we shrunk our team. Director is Joe Johnston. This guy is just the director of adventure. I'm gonna give you an adventure to go on with whatever movie I make, because and we've done 2 of his movies. This is going to be our 3rd movie that we've done of his. No, I'm sorry. 3. We've done 3 of his movies. This is the 4th one that we'll be doing. And I'm telling you, when you hear these titles, it's like his niche is just adventure. Let's bring the audience on an adventure. Jumanji,
Mm-hmm.
Nutcracker in the Four Realms,
Oh, that's right.
The Rocketeer.
Yeah.
Also, he's done Captain America, The First Avenger,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 3, and the one that still I have yet to see, and I say it every time, is October Sky. That movie still evades me. I'm not really looking hard for it though, so when it comes around, it comes around. But yeah, just looking at these, I'm like, man, you just love a good adventure to give your audience.
Yeah. Sorry, just another one that I saw. He did Hidalgo.
Okay.
Yeah. And I gotta throw it out. The Page Master, like, because I know you guys haven't seen that one yet, and I've mentioned, I gotta remember you guys haven't seen that one and pick it sometime. But that's just a classic Macaulay Culkin. That's not Home Alone. That's the thing that's so important to me about that one. It's like it's Macaulay Culkin, not Home Alone.
And he's young.
He's young. I mean, it's say it's like right after Home Alone. Let me see when it did come out. 94. So I think when did I can't remember when Home Alone 2 came out. Was that 93 or 90? I thought it was 91, 92 those came out.
I don't remember. I thought it might have been later than that. I'll for you.
Home Alone was 90.
No, I'm as Home Alone and Richie Rich. That's it.
Classic. Yeah. Home Alone 2 was 92. So he did this like 2 years. Was it, what did I say? 94? 2 years after.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So the cast. We already mentioned Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis may not be a big name now, but in the 80s, man, he was definitely up there because he's coming off of Ghostbusters. He's coming off of Ghostbusters 2.
Do you have anything else? He's done other things.
He's got Ghostbusters 1.5. He's got Honey, I Shrunk My Ghost. No, he's also done around this time he's done Spaceballs. I believe was the Flintstones no, that was 94.
That's 90s, yeah.
There's another big one that he did, I thought, but maybe not.
I gotta throw it. Strange Brew.
What?
Strange Brew. That's the cut.
Okay, yeah, there was. So I mean, he was just I wouldn't call him like a lister of the 80s, but he definitely was a well-known name in the 80s, especially coming off of some of the titles that I've mentioned. And then I don't know what happened. Where'd you go, Rick?
I can tell you
Where'd
exactly.
you go?
His wife got cancer and he retired from acting to take care of his kids and spend time with them.
Got it.
So he is an amazing human being, and that is why we show Rick Moranis respect.
Yeah.
He gave it all up to be a family man because he's a great human being.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's a shame we lost Rick Moranis because
he's
incredible, but you know what? He did the right thing. He did the right thing. If anybody's mad at him, get the fuck off this planet because you don't deserve it.
I mean, he even made it to SNL. He did an episode on SNL in the 80s. He was just
I'll throw
he
out
was doing it.
You want 90s, I think, is where he really started to like shine, and that's why we had such passions for him.
Right.
But the 80s, I mean, he was in Parenthood. I don't remember if he had such a significant role, but same year as this one. Little Shop of Horrors was 86.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Brewster's Millions. I'm gonna have to rewatch that one. Oh God, I gotta shout out Hockey Night. That's a deep cut from him. That TV movie from Canada, I believe. He's the coach. It's amazing. Love it. Own it on VHS. Strange Brew, Saturday Night Live. I mean, yeah, all of his SCTV stuff. So I mean, that's he is a Canadian icon, but he's an American sweetheart, you know?
Yeah. And I
North
mean,
America loves him.
he was known as Wayne Selinsky for
He,
so long. It was like he just adopted that character.
this is what solidified him.
Yeah. It's
I'm
like that's Wayne Selinsky.
I think I want to say he came out of retirement briefly for Brother Bear, where
yeah, he did do Brother Bear.
I can't remember the other guy's name. I'm going to try and pull it up, but the other half of Bob and Doug McKenzie, where they were doing their Bob and Doug characters, but as the Moose. Do you guys remember them?
Mm-mm.
Oh God, the trailer had one joke where the guy gets turned into a bear and he's talking to the moose and he says, "I'm not a bear. He says, "I'm not a bear," and he says, "Boy, you're one big beaver." See, nobody.
Oh, I do remember that. Yes. Well, wait, was that Brother Bear or
Brother Bear?
Okay, at first I was thinking that was from Open Season for some reason.
No, Brother Bear.
Okay.
Which that came out in 2003.
Open Season.
That might have been 2003. Might have been right before he retired. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell.
And then to be honest, boy, I don't know if you guys realize, but a lot of the cast here didn't really, aside from Rick, didn't really continue to do works in Hollywood. I mean, none of the four kids really did anything except for one of them.
There was one recognizable face.
What?
I said there was one recognizable face within the kids.
Yeah.
We watched a movie with him.
Go for it.
Big. You know what I'm talking about?
Maybe. Probably.
You've got four kids to choose from. Which one looks like he was in Big?
I'm trying to remember.
I missed the talk of Big. I wasn't there.
It's still up on Twitch. So as we're bringing it up, folks,
it's Little Russ, isn't it?
Not Little Russ.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Little Selinsky.
No.
Nick. No. Damn it, I don't know.
Ron.
That. Oh, it's Ron. Okay.
Ron. The kid with the hat, the little shit, like
Jared Rushton.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
He was Tom Hanks's best friend in Big.
Oh shit! You're right. Now I see it.
I think he was more of like a redhead. So like in this, he's blonde.
Yeah, and they don't show him that much either.
Oh, you mean in Big?
In Big, yeah.
The other thing that I know of his credits that I think about him is Overboard, where he's one of Kurt Russell's sons.
I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen the original Overboard?
Mm-mm.
Fun. That's a fun one. I mean, it's Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn where like they are the it couple. So it's like, God, they're in a rom-com together. It's fun because Kurt Russell is, sexy, grizzled, working man. And she starts off this snooty patootie rich girl who is just spoiled rotten. And she gets amnesia.
Okay.
And he kind of takes advantage of that. Watch it for yourself before any of those implications enter your mind.
No, it's fine.
But remember, this is a rom-com and it is a fun one. But check it out. The original Overboard is good. The remake was okay, but it's also one where I'm like, you don't need to remake this.
Yeah,
you don't need to remake this.
All right, and then I'll just drop the parents. So you've got Matt Fewer, who plays Big Russ. You've got Marsha Strassman, who plays Diane, and Christine Sutherland, who plays Mae Thompson.
Woo!
No relation to Donald or Kiefer, if anyone's wondering.
Woo! So I still want to shout her out. I swear to God, I'm going to kick myself for not actually confirming this, but she's Joyce, Buffy, like Joyce Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She's Buffy's mom.
I think you're right.
And it wasn't until I was I was watching this movie and I'm looking at him like, why is she so familiar? Why is she so familiar? That I know that face. I know that face. I went in, looked at her credits, and I'm like, son of a bitch, it's Joyce. Like I got so excited. So yes, I big shout out to her just because I only recently discovered Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so I'm not going to say I'm like a huge fan. I think I've watched like the full series for the first time in the last 5 years, and she was incredible. Loved her. And wow, did she break my heart in the episode that we all know that I'm talking about? You don't know. It's okay. I'm not going to bring it up. No spoilers for that one on this show. But shout out. Yeah. Shout out to Christine Sutherland. Woo-woo.
I think I watched like 4 episodes of Buffy and then was like, I'm done.
It takes a minute. It's definitely one of those where I get through season 1 because season 1 is bad. I'm going to tell you it's bad. The story is great, but oh my
Matt,
God.
I'm not here to talk about Buffy.
You brought it up.
I'm just going to cut you off right now.
You brought it up.
You brought it up.
No, I tried to shout out Joyce, and then you got into. I've only seen 4 episodes. I'm like, well, you can't give me that kind of window. So you started.
Unbelievable. All right.
So I got my toe in there.
The ratings. So we are giving this one so far. We haven't got Nick's rating yet, but we're giving it 3.8 out of 5 stars.
That's what. No, it's not.
Is it 3.8?
3.8.
That feels fair.
Yeah.
I gotta ask though, is this like one of those picks where you made it not in the effort of, oh, I'm gonna use this and just rise my score so that by the end of the year I've just got the best record. This is just a fun one. That's all this is. Don't care about the score. Or
I knew it wasn't going to be a 4.5 or higher from any of us, so obviously I wasn't going for the rating.
Okay. But were you worried it was going to bomb it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, it's.
I know we've gotten kind of competitive with our scores to a degree here, where I think you're a bit too cocky and we need to shut you down. But I don't know.
No, can beat the Lion King.
Individual movies don't count in the long run.
Yes, they do.
It's an individual record. Nobody cares. We've moved on. This is a team record.
I hold the title for best movie.
I can't wait until something else does it and just like, aha.
It'll be my pick again.
And
then I'll be like, pinned you again.
Hope you do.
Well played. All right. So I gave our rating. Letterbox is 3.1 out of 5. IMDb is a harsh 6.4 out of 10.
That's not harsh.
Yeah, that's 64%. That's terrible.
Is that like pretty much what we're doing?
No.
Oh.
And then this one is real harsh. Roger Ebert. 2 out of 4 stars. I'll pull up some quotes. Quote, I've been trying to figure out exactly what's missing in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. The special effects are all there, nicely in place, and the production values are sound, but the movie is dead in the water. That's how he starts off his review.
Rough. My God.
He then proceeds, quote, the technical expertise is there, but the story surrounding it is thin, slow, and lacking inspiration. And then he also said, quote, all of the performances in the movie seem a little unfocused, as if the actors got exhausted waiting for the special effects and forgot their original inspiration. Unquote. So yeah, a couple of lines from his review. It seemed overall he just felt it was kind of lackluster and it wasn't. It was like missing energy or something. I don't know, Raj. I normally back you up, but that one's tough to take.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I
I'm
feel
not
about
sure
that
what
one.
movie he
I
saw, but
mean,
I definitely saw nothing that was lackluster in any moment. It was a lot of near-death experiences there, Raj. Go ahead, Jen.
I think I can agree with him for the first time ever. Let this be noted, because we are normally not on the same page. But I think I could agree with him when this story is just kind of like flat. Like it's very, I mean, you're kind of just in one area most of the time of the movie, and there's not much going on. And like it doesn't really grasp you and hook you in. You're just watching things. What's that face for, Cheeky?
Just taking it in and wondering what movie you and Raj were watching, but
I mean, like, it was, I gotta say, like, how they portrayed tiny humans and big world was super well done. Very, very well done. But the story itself and the dialogue was very bleh, keeping it hard to, like, maintain focus
yeah.
or wanting to. That's it. That's why I did not like this movie.
All right. Budget was 18 mil, and worldwide gross is anything but shrunk. It's 222.7 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was a big one. There's definitely some more uh attributions that as to why it's that high, and I'll go into that very shortly. As far as Oscars and Golden Globes, there is nothing to talk about, no nominees. As far as awards in general, it won for, let's see. The Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films. It was nominated for
Or
Best Science Fiction Film.
nice. Love me some
Yeah,
sci-fi.
yeah, exactly. And then also yeah. So I mean, obviously it did well in the science category. Um, Ironic, yeah. I think that's about it. And then the BAFTA awards. It was winner for Best Visual Effects or Special Visual Effects.
Nice.
Yeah. So it got a couple of nominees there, or awards there.
Oh, and to
Um,
spot that.
okay, let's see. It's been admitted that this is a horror movie for kids.
What?
Hmm.
So horror movie for kids.
It's a horror movie for kids. It
Is
has.
that sensitive now?
I mean, if you think about it, you've got the evil scientist with his weapon that is
Done
creating
nothing with
destruction.
Alice.
And then the kids are now in life or death situations, and will they survive? And it's got the foundation of a horror movie for kids.
I could have been behind that until you said the whole like evil scientist thing. I was like, he didn't do anything.
No, he didn't do anything.
Yeah. So like, but I mean, like to call him
He was like the Doctor Evil of
what? So he's a bad guy by association because an accident happened. He's an
he
evil.
was the creator
man.
of the monster. Oh, so he's Frankenstein. Got it. Or Frankenstein's creator.
Inventor.
Well, that is Dr. Victor Frankenstein. I don't want to get into that. It's Frankenstein's monster.
Monster, exactly right. So he's Frankenstein.
Yes.
Um. Okay. The tank was filled with 16,000 gallons of milk-like substance used for the Cheerio scene. So that's how they made him look like he was in a big bowl of cereal.
That's like a
Cheerios,
kid's dream come true.
the Cheerios were tractor inner tubes coated in foam.
Yeah, I love seeing the textures of those things that they made up like up close.
Really
It
cool.
looks so cool.
Really cool.
Honestly, all of the water stuff that they did, like so, like the milk, the mud, and all of those things
Yeah.
that they did, I'm like, I think they did a really good job matching like realistic textures and things like that. Mud is thick. The milk looked like milk.
Yeah.
They did a really good job matching that stuff.
Yeah, the consistency.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't just water. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like in Willy Wonka, where he falls
Yes.
in the chocolate factory and it's like, that's clearly just brown water.
Yeah. There were possible Waynes before Rick Moranis. The part was written for and had in mind Mr. Chevy Chase. Chevy was unavailable. He was filming another movie at the time.
Vacation movie, perhaps?
Christmas Vacation.
There you go. He was filming a Christmas Vacation.
Hmm.
So he couldn't do it. They then moved on to John Candy.
Hmm.
John Candy passed it up, but recommended Rick Moranis for the role of Wayne Selinsky. Way to go, John.
John's a good guy.
Yeah, way to go.
John was a good guy. I hope. I mean, he seems like a great guy.
How do we feel about Chevy Chase if he was able to do it?
I can't see him as like that scientist.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
Like I imagine the closest thing I would get is something to what we got as Ty Webb or is it Spies Like Us that I'm thinking of? It might be oh god, what's the one where he's the master of disguise type of dude? Either way, I don't think I would have liked what Wayne Selinsky would have been like. I don't think he would have played it as straight as
Yeah.
As Rick Moranis did. Like
I didn't see his name in the running, but like if you couldn't get Rick, I think Bill Murray probably could have given a good show.
what about Robin Williams?
Oh yeah, of course.
I could definitely see Robin Williams.
Yeah,
but we get not Nutty Professor. We get
Blubber.
Blubber.
Yeah, and that's why it's so easy to see it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna be the type of person who pushes back with Bill Murray as a thing where I like Bill Murray, but Bill Murray makes Bill Murray movies, and it's just his style of comedy. You have to find a movie that will match that, or at least cater itself to it. And I don't see this working. I mean, you guys seen Osmosis Jones?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's a movie that works with Bill Murray because it feeds into his like sick comedy of like gross out humor kind of thing into that aspect where he's just a human. He's a disgusting human being that has like a virus inside of him that's killing him, and we get to see the insides as cartoons. Like it's a really fun concept, and it works because he can sell this whole like, yeah, I'm a horribly gross, disgusting human being that eats fast food, does not take care of himself, but is redeemable in the end. You know, it's like it's that's the kind of thing where like that's a kid's movie that works with Bill Murray. I don't see this working with that where because it feeds off of Rick Moranis after this. You know, the first movie's all about the kid. It's all about the kids. Every movie after this is about Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I would argue that's the biggest question is looking at like, having hindsight, looking at it that way. Does Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, do these guys create this franchise if it's their movie?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I
I
really
mean,
can't swap anybody else.
Yeah, Rick Moranis is by far the best choice. So,
Ooh, that lighting change was much needed.
all right. Original script. There were 5 kids. And one of them dies.
This.
One of them dies during the sprinkler scene. Dies. They kill the kid. That was in the original script.
That's yeah.
Now I can see why it would be a horror film.
I'm like, dang, that's woo. All right, props that were built.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they killed a kid. They flat out killed a kid.
In the original script. Script wasn't
How
filmed.
is that?
And
wasn't
then Disney
anything,
got
just
in there and they
script.
said, you can't kill a kid.
Yeah, Disney was probably like, we need a few edits.
How would the end of that movie's like, oh, everyone's there. Well, so-and-so died. Well, it's whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go out into the yard and find his dead body. Hopefully it hasn't been collected by an ant by now.
Yeah. Like, oh my God.
Like the implications of killing a kid as he's shrunk like that in the middle of the yard.
Yeah.
Awful.
We get movie 1, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, kid dies. Movie 2, Honey, I Shrunk the Coffin, let's find the kid. Movie
Oh
3,
my God.
Honey, let's go to the funeral.
Oh my God.
Now that is a dark trilogy. I support it.
All right, so some props that were built. We had a 10-foot oatmeal cookie with real cream filling.
Cream filling.
40-foot blades of grass. And a giant mechanical ant and a giant bee, all built for the film. Auntie took 12 workers to operate on like the basically on the sidelines. They're over here just doing the thing to operate Auntie. The original title of the movie, Teeny Weenies.
Ugh. Ugh. Okay, hold on. You name a movie Teeny Weenies and you kill a kid.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. No.
The originals need
No.
some polishing needed to happen on the original stuff.
Oh, thank God, too.
Yeah. Obviously, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Much better title than Teeny Weenies.
God, what an awful name.
And then that actually got me thinking, is there a better title than Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? And I could not think of one. But
in this era of Disney and really all film titles, they would have dropped it to one word. Shrunk.
Shrunk.
That's it. They would have left you with that. Shrunk.
Yeah, that's true. The one title drop.
Shrunk.
Let's see. Okay. This truly has started to make me feel old a little bit. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids releases in theaters the exact same day as Batman. Exact same day. So you had Batman or Tim Burton's Batman and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in the theater at the same time. Obviously, everyone wanted to see Batman. It was just the summer blockbuster of the year. And because of this, there was an overflow of people that weren't able to get into Batman. So they're like, let's go watch Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So in a way, Batman pushes business to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids because they weren't able to see the movie.
Those were the good old days where it's like, okay, you only have so many picks to choose from because what's in theaters.
Right.
Well, you can't see that one. Well, all right, I guess I'll go see this.
Yep. I remember working box office when Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest is released. I had people lining up at the window, like when we were opening, not even for the movie, like for business. We were all just arriving to get things going. And it's like, we've been here all night. I'm like, dedication. I respect it. And then like the crowd just kept getting bigger and bigger. And then come Friday night, it was, oh man, that was wild. Costumes were out, like everybody was out on that one.
Nice. That's those are the premieres that I miss. We haven't had a good one of those in a while where
No,
it's such a big fandom that everybody's dressed up and like decked out in the craziest cosplays.
you can make a case for Barbie.
Yeah, fair. Because yeah,
Last summer, that was the talk of everything.
well, no, I can see that. Like, because I feel like a kid or kids dressing up to go see a movie is not unheard of, but this is adults.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. There were definitely people dressed up.
Yeah. Yeah, they were ready. Okay. Those who either saw it in the theaters or were fortunate enough to own it on VHS may remember that there was a mini show prior to the movie or prior to the movie. Does anyone remember this? It was Roger Rabbit's Tummy Trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that was played in theaters before the movie started. And they were Disney was hoping that Roger Rabbit came out the year before and people loved it. And they're like, oh, maybe if we had like a Roger Rabbit short before this, it would probably attract more audience and more kids coming and parents coming and all that stuff. It was so popular that they decided to put it on the VHS tape once it was released. So you had that little 7-minute Roger Rabbit cartoon.
Yeah.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
What's up, Nick?
Hey,
Just pop
doing
in.
good?
Good timing. We were just about to go on break, so we'll see you in 5 to 10.
Nice.
It did. There was one award that I didn't mention because I knew we were going to talk about it here. It was awarded for poor grammar.
Yes.
Because if you're an English guru, it's not Honey, I Shrunk, it's Honey, I Shrank the kids. So it got a poor grammar award. Did you notice that Diane's hair changes color throughout the movie?
Yes.
Whose hair?
Diane Selinsky.
Yes, I did, and it's always bothered me. Give me an answer.
Redhead, blonde, or redhead. Yeah, she interchanges. Reason why is obviously most films, as they're filmed, are filmed out of sequence. They're not filmed chronologically. And at one point, I think it was Disney or whoever said, "Hey, we think that blonde might look better on you. Why don't you just dye your hair?" And then she's like, "Well, do you think people are going to notice?" Like, nah, no one's going to notice. We noticed.
I didn't notice.
You didn't notice?
Nope.
No.
It's not glaringly obvious, but I noticed.
Yeah, it's not like, redhead Jessica Chastain goes to like blonde Barbie type thing. But there's definitely some adjustments.
You can see it goes from darker to much lighter.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. I'm not sure.
I had no idea about this. No clue at all. There was a TV show that was launched in 1997. 3 seasons. And it was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV show. Anyone know? This was news to me.
I feel like I heard about it, but I remember nothing about it.
Nope. Didn't know that. I mean, around 97, I was watching Nickelodeon back then. So it was, if it wasn't on Nickelodeon, I probably wasn't watching it. Or Boy Meets World on TGIF.
Is it the same cast?
No, completely different casts, completely everything. Yeah. I'm not even sure like how you do a 3 seasons of shrinking. I no clue. No clue.
It's probably of like a what else can we shrink? You know, like that's each episode.
I shrunk my boss. He was pissing me off.
I pulled it up if you guys are interested. So it's like you said, I think 3 seasons, 68 episodes.
68 episodes. No idea. Cool.
Yeah. Well, and so the episodes span from 97 to 99.
Wow.
Let me make sure to. Oh no! Wow, we hit the 2000s. Yeah. Last episode, entitled "Honey, Who Done It," released May 20th, 2000.
Yep.
Wow, and these are
No idea.
43-minute episodes, so these are long.
Is each episode title like "Honey, I shrank the car"? "Honey, I shrank the toilet"?
Yeah,
like
they
it's
did like
I'm just
Shrunk.
gonna go through.
The one with the one with.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they all start with honey. So, honey, it's
Okay.
doomsday. Honey, let's trick or treat.
Hmm.
Honey, we're young at heart. Honey, the bunny bit it. Honey, it's a miracle. I'm trying to see what season 1's got. Honey, I'm haunted. Honey, I got duped. Yeah, so they all start with honey. They're all different things. The premise of the show, it sounds like it's just Wayne Szalinski is a genius, and he's constantly coming up with new inventions that cause things to go haywire.
Got it. So it's not about everyone being shrunk. Okay.
No, it's just
It's just diving into Wayne Szalinski as an inventor.
yeah.
Okay.
And what better place to start than the very beginning? A very good place to start. I have thoughts. I read you didn't bring this up in the fun facts, but I think I read this where this was like one of 3 movies this year that was released with an animated title sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember all of them right now. And I'm not going to bother, but
I also saved another thing that the credits, the way that they did the credits was groundbreaking. It was like what?
The animated credits.
It was like the first time someone had done 3D with 2D, and no one had ever done it before. And yeah, there was a lot of talk about the opening credits on this one.
Okay, well, good, because you've already shut me up in a moment where I was going to say I don't like them. So as groundbreaking as they were, that's awesome. I didn't enjoy them. I like that it didn't give any spoilers away to the actual story of the movie. It's just kind of like, yeah, here we are. It's shrunken kids, exactly what you'd expect in crazy world. But I didn't like the character designs. I didn't like how things transitioned. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. But Brian, you've got some other facts, or you've got that fact, and like
that was it.
Here's some opinions. Like what did you guys think of the opening credits? I was not a fan.
I actually liked them. I think it was fun. It was creative. It kind of has like the animation style of the Peanuts. I don't know. Is that what I'm thinking?
I mean, I can see what you mean of like that kind of like the.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like the Peanuts, or like
I don't see Peanuts.
Curious George. Like it's like that era of animation. It's like non-Disney, animation. But I thought it was fun. The only thing that I didn't like about it though is a lot of the names that it's like the 3D block, text. A lot of the names were so big. It was hard to read them, because it's like your eyes are like, scrolling all the way across the screen just to read someone's name. So not a good design choice on that part, but I thought it was a fun animated intro to start a movie. It's better than just like black text on a white text on a black screen,
Yeah, it's a lot better than black text on a black screen too.
It's just black screen the whole. Yeah, but I liked it. That's I like that like older 90s animated, kind of style, It's very nostalgic, I guess, because you see it a lot in like kids' books from the 90s, and I swear it's like the same style as the Peanuts. I'm gonna look that up. But go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, no, a couple of comments on the opening credits. I guess I'm not bothered by it. They were fine. I thought that they were really creative in terms of like what they were doing, like certain things. First and foremost, though, I feel that it really sets the tone for the type of movie that you're about to watch, where these, the animation is these kids are shrunk, and all the non-threatening things all of a sudden become life-threatening. The simple stroke of of a typewriter. To us, that's so nonchalant. It's like douche, 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 nothing, right? To these guys, they're running for their life because they're about to get smushed. And I'm like, cool, I get it. So all of a sudden your everyday things are now going to be super dangerous. And that's exactly how it was with the movie, which we'll get into. And I liked it. The only thing is I felt that it was almost misguiding because it seemed like they were going on crazier adventures in the animation part than they actually did on the movie itself. Like the dangers that they were involved in and all that stuff. It was more of like, this is at home or a bunch of home stuff, like things that are found in the home, where the movie is mostly premised outside. So overall, though, I thought it was a great way to kind of lure in and give us a little setting the table, if you will, for what Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is all about. And it's not the first movie that has done the whole like cartoon intro before the real movie. The one that comes to mind almost immediately is Grease. And that one really worked just as well. And it's got a killer song too. Like I forgot who sings it. Yeah, see, Matt knows. Grease is the word, like that. And it's like I just remember he like opens up, he gets out of his bed, he's got like that raggedy hair and all that. Like that cartoon just really worked to get you into Grease, which we haven't done yet, but I'm sure once it's streaming, we'll probably do that one.
Great callback to an anime. Because I love that so much more than this.
Yeah, the cartoon intro to a movie, I don't think it ever it hasn't ever not worked, but who knows?
I'll just comment to your point, Brian, that like animation kind of tends to like hyper, exaggerate the stakes of characters when they're like in danger. So yeah, like but like you said, the whole typewriter, button like hitting the page, like that seems to be a lot more dangerous than some of the things that they encountered, in the actual movie. But animation does that. Like it's really easy to raise those stakes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier to draw it out than it is to, act it, film it, edit it,
perform it. Yeah.
Yeah. I also liked what they did with the actual words and how it went with whatever the endangerment was. The one that just comes to mind is the bud gets smashed and then the words just look all ooey and gooey and it was just like I was like someone had a lot of fun animating this. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got for the opening credits.
Yeah. Did we want to go into the opening scene rather than just the opening credits as well? So I don't know for
not a lot there, but
yeah. Well, I'm curious because like I really focused in on like those opening credits because they were significant. But yeah, opening scene. It's we're getting introduced to the Zelinskys. We're really getting introduced to Wayne. And I don't know about you guys, but I felt a real fake out in this movie. And it's only apparent when you watch the other two movies. And it starts with the mailman. And I don't know about you guys, but I remember the Zelensky mailbox. It was crazy. It had hinges. It had it was a contraption that he had created.
Right.
And like that's the thing I remember. I remember I think the two where I don't want to spoil them. You know what? I don't want to spoil them. I remember the two. But I felt like a big fake out when this mailman hands the mail to Quark and he just runs and I was like, wait, no, it's not that simple.
Right.
Because I think that was the best part of how they expand on this is like the real sciencey, like they would like Wayne. Yes, this dude, he's got contraptions. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because I too definitely felt the same fake out, but you can also extend that fake out. I, for some reason, in my head, had it memorized as almost Back to the Future style, where
Yeah.
it was like all these contraptions had jobs to do, and you know, they're self-feeding dogs and cooking breakfast and you know, all that. And I as we're going into the house, I'm like, oh, I think this is when we start to see all of his inventions going at the same. I'm like, no, nothing happens. We just have a freaking cow or a cat on the wall that meows at me. Like it was just, I completely had or had just completely wrongly memorized how the intro of this movie was. Completely.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it's a fake out that's not apparent until you've seen the other movies.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, while we're getting into that, I know we haven't watched the other ones yet in the movie club, but that is something that I really like that this movie does is it sets up a strong foundation for this family, a strong foundation for like who they are as people. It does a really good job of laying it down. Because when you get to the next movie, when you get to the following movie, it makes sense that this is where this family would have progressed.
Yeah.
And it's I love that about this series. And it's because we went back and we're watching the original and it has been so long since I've watched it. I really love seeing that it started off on such a simple concept. Like it was so simple in the beginning. And the way that they expand on it is done well. This is like most sequels, it's like, okay, let's do more of the same. But on this one, it's like, okay, let's expand on what we can expand on and should expand on. So let's do more, but let's not go crazy. And it works. I really like the simplicity where this whole movie is just about the one machine.
Yeah.
Love it.
So Matt, you're saying that this movie is sort of like the guinea pig for the sequels in the sense that the sequels have a lot more of the contraptions and the machinery and the science aspect to it, like more mechanisms.
Well, I can't remember if you were part of the conversation when it was said or not, but this first movie is really about the kids. Like Wayne Szalinski is synonymous with Rick Moranis to most people in a generation because of this movie. And he's not really in it that much. He's not really doing a whole lot. He's just being Wayne Szalinski. And the next two movies really expand on him and makes it like clear, like, yes, there's a reason everybody loves this character and loves this guy. And it's because of how they expanded from this movie. They gave him such a solid start without going too much. And then they're like, okay, now we've got permission. We found what we can do. Let's do more. Okay, what's the next step? Let's do more. But rather than more of the same, let's do more.
Mm-hmm.
It's great stuff because sorry, I don't let me just ramble. Please stop me at any point, guys. But these movies have such a simple concept. We accidentally get shrunken.
Yeah.
Shrank. Now this is where the grammar is going to bother me.
Shrinking.
I'm going to go with shrank.
Smaller.
People are accidentally teeny weenied.
Yeah.
And you know, like that's such a simple idea. And what it really boils down to is like, okay, now they're small. What do they encounter?
Right.
And they do such a great job of coming up with logical and realistic encounters of what you would deal with if you were a tiny person suddenly.
Do you think this is kind of for the group here? It was basically attic immediately outside. Do you think they should have played around with half inside, half outside, completely stay out there, completely not be outside and just stay in the house the whole time? Did they make the right move with the locations that they went for? Just pulling the group here. And if anyone's listening, I'd love to hear your comments too.
Nick, go ahead.
Sure.
Yes, please.
Okay. I think that they should have varied the locations up a little bit. Like they still could have done the garbage bag in the yard, but they could have added just a little bit more details of the yard. Like they make it to the perimeter, so they hop on like the chain link fence, or they find one of the sprinkler heads. They use that, or they get somehow flung up onto the roof of the house. Like I wanted a little bit more variety.
Okay.
Like if they get up to the roof of the house somehow, then maybe there's a bird that attacks them and they have to go down like the gutter. Just like a little bit more variety using the property, like the house property that they're on.
Yeah.
Rather than just having like a new situation in the same grass area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my take on it. Go ahead, Matt.
So I did think about this as I was watching it, because just curious. I'm like, I was trying to find as many holes as I could. But there's really not much when it comes to how they set things up. And I really like the fact that everything seems motivated to the next thing, right? Like it almost seems gratuitous at a point. It's like, why would Wayne start like destroying his machine? It's like, well, because it's destroying his life. Now he's got this broken window. It's just it's like, oh, he hits it one last, like, it's just, everything leads to the next thing. And I like that ultimately their journey is, they're in the house. This is the easiest situation to be in, of like, okay, now we have to navigate the house and get his attention. Or let's make it as difficult as possible and remove them, take them as far away as possible. Okay, well, how do we do that? Getting them into the trash, taking them to the far side of the yard, but giving them a way to get out of it. And now, okay, you have been taken out of the house. You have to cross the yard. I love that as a mission. I think the downfall of it is you're looking at one location, right? It's really hard to make a yard look any different than a yard, no matter where you are in it. And that's a big downfall. How do you vary? And then of course they do with dropping pieces of whatever, because Nick is apparently a massive slob. Although look at the house, not surprising, they're all slobs except for mom. So I really like it. And I think it's also the benefit of the final movie. We get that,
Right.
They give us an epic to really start this movie of, you got to cross this plain. You've got to cross the great terrain, with all sorts of dangers. And then it's okay. You've got the house. Get their attention. So I think that's the benefit of the sequels and everything, is like, you're right. This movie definitely would leave you wanting more. I think they were limited by technology and what they were capable of doing. What they came up with was fantastic. I mean, the kid on the bees, like, that's the kids on the bee, wrong plural there. That scene I'd really forgotten about. I forgot how the kids got separated, and you put them on a bee. And it looks good. The bird's eye view, like or not the bird's eye, the first person view of the bee as it's getting swatted at and everything. I'm like, this all feels real. This all feels good. It looks realistic. I mean, I'm seeing these kids flying around on this thing. My only thought throughout all of it was like, man, I really hope that bee just randomly decides to turn back to that yard. So I forgot about all like the swatting and everything too. So I'm like, okay, I at least like that. Like, yes, it's a bee doing what a bee does, and hey, gets swatted. Yeah, love it all. Love it all. I thought this was really great. So ultimately, I love the journey to the. You guys aren't stopping me, and I'm tired. Go.
You got to learn self control.
You guys are just. No hands are going up, and I don't know.
It's so funny that he was talking about the bee scene and literally just crash and burn.
I need an oatmeal cookie.
Much like the bee in the movie. It's just like, we're going down.
At least you guys have to stop me.
I mean, we'll circle back to the bee scene, because I did. I have, I wrote that down. But this is the time where we do movie memories. Does anyone beside Matt like to start with their movie memory first? Let's hear it, Nick.
Well, like I do, it's usually the first one that pops in my head.
That's how memories work.
Yeah, it's when the parents are both on like the swinging contraption looking for their kids. Like it's just so funny to me, especially because
Yeah.
you see what's the dad's name?
Wayne.
Is it Wade?
Wayne and Diane. So
Wayne and
Linsky.
Diane. Like when you first see Wayne doing, with his, I don't even know what you call it, the
Harness.
hanging contraption. It's like okay, like it's funny because we get it, like you're just that guy, so it's like expected for us to see him doing that because he's this like science guy. But but then later when it just cuts to like him and his wife now doing it, like her doing it is hilarious because
Yeah.
like that seems so out of her comfort zone, like it's out of her element. You just see the two of them just doing like this kind of like
Yep.
yin and yang kind of motion. Like it's just so funny to me. Yeah, but that's my memory.
Good sneeze.
Oh,
No, I'm not. Okay, cool.
you're like peace.
Scared, scared it away.
Yeah.
Okay. I did have some comments on the flying parents thing.
Yeah, okay.
And most of them are nitpicks. We're gonna go with the easy one first.
Mhm.
Your kids are out there, and as a mom, you decide we got to let the neighbors know immediately. I'm pulling the ripcord right now, and I'm just gonna have plummet onto the grass. What? There's no regard for the kids. Say like, what if they were where Wayne landed?
Instant death.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They looked.
What?
They looked.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
It's nighttime. They've got these magnifying glass and lights, and their kids are a quarter-inch tall. But I'm sure they got it. I'm sure they covered every area of the yard.
Can we take a moment to just be blessed for those helmet flashlight things?
Yeah.
Those were the most ridiculous but amazing, like 90s, like pure 90s, like homemade
Dude,
like tools.
just rocking it so hard.
So funny.
I'm looking for the kids in a coal mine.
Yeah. I mean, kind of.
Yeah, essentially. Okay, now the bigger nitpick. This one has been a problem of mine throughout the movie, and as I have become an adult, it's now even more so. How in the world can you explain to me that the kids never see them circling over this entire time? Whether it's just Wayne or Wayne and Diane, you show me a butterfly that you can see, but you can't see 6 foot and 5'5" human beings just doing circles. You can't hear them talking. Like, that's a big problem in this movie. If anyone has explanation or reasoning behind it, I would love to hear it. Because I've tried to think of it, and I'm like, I have nothing.
I don't have an explanation, but I 100% noticed this. I noticed this and not the hair changing colors. Like, I mean, you have to think about like the proportions of how small these kids are. They're literally smaller than an ant. Small, and like ants are tiny.
Yes.
And like if these kids are down in that grass and these parents, I mean, they're like whooshing.
Yeah, that's gonna
like,
create a sound.
Whooshing over you, like causing wind gusts and
exactly.
like yeah.
It
Big
would
flaw.
it would
for sure.
sound like what would it sound like?
They go, "Vroom." I don't know.
747 going by. There goes dad. There goes mom.
They're like
It's inexplicable. There's no reason why they shouldn't have seen their parents doing donuts in the air on just helicopter, literally helicopter parents. Like, how do you miss
that was
it?
good. Although I just thought of a really good, like, if they did this little Easter egg. You know how it's at the beginning of Spaceballs, which also has Rick Moranis in it, when the ship is like coming in and it just keeps going and going and going. I would have loved if they had done something like that with like the parents just slowly like going over the children. like they just see their pant leg for like an entire minute.
That would be really funny.
Like, Dad, okay, I'll wait. Dad, like,
that's it's a tough one. That is a tough logic or logical. No, that's not the word. That's a tough problem when it comes to reality.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that was rough.
And I think the problem too, like, because that's an easy fix, right? It's one scene of them swooping across. They climb to the top of the blade, and they're trying to get their attention, and then you're left with the space balls just leg as it passes, but you're just screaming, "Mom, mom!"
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, okay,
yeah, because that at least shows that you can see them. You haven't even acknowledged the fact that you can't see your parents circling above you.
Yeah. Well, and especially since, like, in the end, when they do actually see them, right? They're like, we were right under their noses and they didn't even see us. And then they're immediately like, oh, but here's the dog. Take us inside to talk. Like, it's like,
right.
Matter that they didn't see you. You got inside.
Right.
And somehow he ends up in the boat.
Yeah. I mean, all they had to do was like green screen, like just do a green screen of like an under camera shot. And then you just put that clip like over the grass. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Did you have any, or was that it, Nick?
Oh, for memories?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the first and biggest one that came to mind. If I think of another, I'll chime in, but
sure,
if you want to go.
How about you, John?
Oh, the cream-filled cookie.
Oh my God.
I'll say this movie always makes me want an oatmeal pie cookie, or what are they called? Oatmeal
cream pies.
Oatmeal, yes. Yeah.
Oatmeal cream.
I know.
All right, what about it?
Oh, just like the whipped cream.
Yeah.
It's so good. The cookie itself looks like dirt, so I don't really care. And it's the intro to Auntie.
Yeah. No, that's a great one. I'm telling you, anytime I watch this, I'm like, damn it, now I want a box of oatmeal cream pies.
Yeah.
Oatmeal cream cookies.
It would be such a letdown though, because like that whipped cream just looks
yeah, it's nothing. Real oatmeal cream cookies are nothing like what they show.
Yeah.
Apparently they need to make them bigger.
Yeah. Like
I got a machine now.
Is it Little Debbie's? It's Little Debbie's, right?
Yeah,
Little Debbie's. If you're listening to GoodFlickas, get on it. Let's just increase the size of this. You gotta go Mondo Burger. Go Mondo Burger on it.
we need double stuffed oatmeal cream pies. Sorry, don't take that out of context.
Here's your clip right there. You lost me with that. Like
Sorry, that was totally not.
Oh, that was so funny.
I said you got to go bigger.
Well, I was gonna say that they do have two sizes of the cookie now.
Okay.
Like there's the classic one that you remember that's like real small and has like what seems zero cream in it.
It's like 95% cookie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've got the jumbo, which is like it's a full size, like, oh yeah, you're
yes.
getting oatmeal cookie, and there's some good cream in the filling of that one. Like,
Okay.
but
all right.
that double stuff, like, oh shit, your teeth are out tomorrow. But it was good. It was good in the process.
Okay.
Yeah, look for the jumbo ones. Those are good.
Anything else about the cookie or?
I mean, I'd eat that fucker. It looked like it did look a lot like cake when they're pulling it apart, and I'm like, that's not really how oatmeal cookies work. But you know, I'm not gonna.
I will say though, I love the fact they used real cream.
Yeah,
as we learned earlier, like it was actual eatable edible cream.
Even I am eatable.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like the art department on that day of production? Like that was their job that day to make a giant oatmeal cream pie. Like this is what I got paid for. Yeah.
All right, Matt.
What's giant oatmeal cream pie?
What's your movie memory or memory? Oh, Jen, did you have any other ones, or was it just a cookie?
No, that's it.
So far, these are great memories. I love them.
I mean, this whole movie is nothing but memories. The one that really comes to me when I think about it, though, was the lawnmower.
Oh,
I remember the lawnmower, but for some reason, I don't remember it being like the next day thing. Because when I was watching this, and even as he was like, okay, but make sure you don't stay, you know, like you don't make sure you're not too late. I'm like, okay, so he's coming back that day. I'm like, and I had that in my head. I always thought that it was the first day that he did the lawnmower. And that's when they were like, okay, now we got to do the swoop. So I didn't realize it was vice versa. And like that kind of threw me off. But I always remember that one.
Yeah.
Especially at the end, because it's weird to me. And I think it might, I don't know if it's accurate or not, but like they get pulled up and then get shot out to the side without going through the blades or anything.
Yes.
And it's not really made clear that like it's slowing down and that would have somehow changed the propulsion. But they just,
sort of idle.
Huh?
Is it because it's idle? Maybe.
No, I mean, if it's idle, I don't know. I wouldn't think that because it's the propeller itself that's sucking them up.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
Idle. Yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, no, I was going to comment that was actually a nitpick of mine, was like how there's no way you're surviving going through that lawnmower, because the thing out the side is like where you put the bag, so that like that's where the chopped grass goes. So if they're going up there, their chopped bodies are going into that bag. Like that just didn't make any sense to me. Honestly, I could have done without the lawnmower, to be honest.
So I will say one thing. I used to mow lawns as a kid a lot. I had to mow my own lawn several times. And I do remember, so my pops, we had a gas-powered lawnmower. So you have to fill it up with gas. You have to pull it 50 million times, and then it decides it actually wants to start, right? And I know I had like there was an attached bag to it, and there were clippings that would get into the bag, but there were also clippings that would fall out on the side. And so I'm not sure if it's like you have to be in this certain center point of the lawnmower to where it's like this is what gets sucked into the mulch bag, and then the rest kind of gets blown out on the side, and maybe that's just how they ran. But I do know for a fact not all cut grass would go into the mulch bag. There were definitely some that would pop out the side, and when I'd turn around and then go back the other way, I would recollect it.
I don't know the science behind it. Like, I think there's probably something that where you could be like, yeah, if it's under these facts, like whatever. But for me, the one way to sell it, that them getting sucked out and sent out the side, is really show that those propeller, but like those blades have slowed.
Yeah.
Like if you just show me that it's slowed, like I'll buy that there's just momentum that they got sucked out that way, but like it's now just momentum, and of course that sends them
it's gravity taking over.
exactly right. Like
Yeah.
I'd be much more okay with that if you just showed me those things are like really slowed down.
Yeah.
But they don't. They I think you can kind of hear that it kicks off, but the blades are still going. So like yes, they'd be slowing down, but who cares about realism at this point? You shrunk kids. Just show those propellers like slow down really quickly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
I titled that scene "Snatched by Snapper."
Yeah,
Snatched by Snapper.
sounds dirty.
You know,
This whole movie is starting to sound dirty though, as we keep saying things.
yeah, cream pies and snapper snatching.
I mean, what's some double stuffed oatmeal cream pies?
Please
yeah.
don't. Well, this
Any other memories, Matt, or just one?
So we've got that one. The other one that I always like that makes me laugh. One, and so let me just quickly call out Matt Frewer, the neighbor's dad.
Yeah.
Big Russ.
Big Russ.
Everything about, and then I know it's not him, but everything about his performance reminds me of Jim Carrey.
Oh, yes.
Oh, dude,
Everything.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
Everything about his performance
Absolutely.
reminds me of Jim Carrey.
Yep.
But the one thing, and it's towards the end, but the one moment,
And this is before Carrie, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Carrie's a thing. But I think he's SNL still. Like I think he hasn't really broken into like movies yet.
Yeah, we're not talking Liar Liar yet, or
I definitely not. I think Ace Ventura is probably like the biggest one.
it was okay. Yeah,
that kicks him off. But it's towards the end, and it's after he gets blown back up, and he goes to put his hat on, and it's real big.
Yeah,
like it's a tiny little gag that I love. And it's like the implication, you just didn't get as big as you were.
right.
But I think the reason watching this too, why it's even greater to me now is like, this is the guy who's like all obsessed with size, right? It's like, you got to be bigger. You got to be bigger. And now he's physically smaller than what he was. And it's like, that's like, you got to deal with that now.
Yeah.
It's not all about size. So
how soon before he checks downstairs?
Oh, because this is a kids movie, I would have guessed like immediately.
Yeah, right. He's like, wait, my hat doesn't fit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure once all of like the hugging and like, oh my god, the kids didn't really, we're all happy and stuff was done. He immediately was like, boy,
I gotta go to the bathroom.
That shrink, yeah, like that shrinking and blowing stuff up really makes you have to go, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Does it look bigger to you?
All right. So my two memories, I have two memories on this one. Ironically, one kind of transitions. It's Big Russ's character. It's just when I hear Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, I just think of his character and exactly what you said, Matt. Like you can't help but just think Jim Carrey and feel Jim Carrey, and it's no fault to Matt at all. Not you, Matt. Matt, him, Matt.
Matt's got a bad rep, man.
The number one memory that I have. I mean, even when I picked it, I was like, yeah, I remember this one. It's brutal. It's R.I.P. Auntie. Man, it's my nitpick. I hate that Auntie dies. It's the scene that it's just been burned in my memory since I was a kid. It's Scorpion comes in and pretty nasty looking Scorpion too. Jesus, where do they live?
Like, where did that thing come from?
He was hanging out in the yard somewhere. I don't know what Scorpion is just hanging out in a yard, and
but not in the desert.
No, that thing. My God, that thing just looked brutal. He was red and hairy, and I mean, we basically went into a Godzilla verse King Kong movie real quick.
The real kaiju.
What?
Yeah. Like super, like it was like a kaiju film, but everything.
Yeah, it was like a sci-fi animal versus animal, like just just like that, right? And so he comes in, I was like, oh God, that is one evil looking thing, and the fact that the kids get out, but Little Russ, right?
Little
No,
Russ is the oldest, and then Ron.
Ron. Yeah, I keep mixing them up for some reason.
Because it's because Little Russ is not like his dad,
Right.
whereas Ron is.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, poor Ron is like stuck in the Lego with these just razor style claws coming at him. And then you're like, wow, where are they going to go with this? And then all of a sudden they try to like distract him. And then all of a sudden Auntie wants to be the big hero. And I was like, Auntie, he's just a baby. Ron knew. Ron knew. And man, the Auntie gets back, it sucks because he's doing good until he gets backed up into the blade, like the blade of grass or whatever it was, and I'm like, oh, he's cornered, he's done, and then he gets his head clawed. I was like, dang, I told you it's a horror movie, Matt. He gets his head clawed, and then the camera to the scorpion stinger is just, I'm like, oh, you guys are dicks. like it's like, watch this, douche. And I'm like, oh, there goes Auntie. And he's paralyzed through poison. He's thrown like it's nothing. And then they do the stick fights. Like, all right, I don't know. I think they kind of ran out of ideas on how do they're not gonna kill the scorpion. So like, what do we do? And it's like, okay, let's just throw a stick magically into its nose is what it looked like. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Eyeball.
Yeah, it was his eye?
It was one of them.
Okay, got it. And so, that made him back off. And then, of course, we had to go through the scene of Auntie wasn't dead instantly. We now have to witness him dying slowly and scared. And I'm like, wow, you couldn't leave a death out of this movie, could you? You wanted to originally kill a human. And you're like, no, we're gonna kill an ant now, and we all got attached to Auntie. Don't tell me you didn't get attached to Auntie. You're lying to yourself if you say you didn't. But yeah, it was just it's sad. I don't know why we had to kill Auntie. Maybe get him hurt, fine, but kill him, that's rough. Hands are everywhere. I knew it was gonna spike.
I've just got a quick comment, and it's you brought up like when it flashes to the stinger.
Yeah.
I'm almost surprised it didn't do like the Tarantino Pulp Fiction thing of like close up of the tip of the needle as it drips, just that little drop of poison, and then stab. Like
yeah,
it was like the way that they set it all up was like that's so brutal.
Yeah.
Then even like you can see it stab in. Like it is not like nope.
They don't cut away. They show
and he gets stabbed, and then he's thrown like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah,
hard to watch. Go ahead, Nicholas.
Yeah, I like Auntie is the character that it's like their enemy turns ally, turns hero, turns like sacrificial.
Yeah,
like
it's exactly what
honor.
It is.
Like it's just like that character had a huge character arc in like the shortest amount of time.
Yep.
It's just like it was so sad. Yeah.
Damn it, Auntie. Yeah.
Also,
that's
they could have given him a better name.
What?
I feel like they could have given him a better name.
Ooh, put you on the hot seat. What do you got?
What?
I'm gonna just cut off and just say Ant-Man did a phenomenal job of naming ants. So they missed the chance here. Nailed it in the Ant-Man movies.
Okay.
They could have done like an actual person's name, like Antoine. I don't know.
All right.
Anthony.
Anthony.
Samantha.
Oh man! Now you make her female.
Not only were they going to kill another, like they were going to kill a kid, they were going to kill a girl. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
We kill a girl. It's like, oh well, now we can't do that, but let's make the ant a female. So let's just kill it. Like, you're heartless. You were heartless.
I'm just spitballing names with the three letter ant in it. That's all.
All right.
I could think
Those
of
are great
one.
memories, guys. But now it's, anyone got, who's got something? Who's got something to talk about? Go for it, Matt.
It's I called it Tom Sawyer or Nick Z. Although it's his name is starts with an S.
This is a scene?
It's what I'm calling it. Yeah, Tom Sawyer. Or, it's because I didn't have the spelling for Zelensky. I wrote down Nick Z, but I was like Tom Sawyer or Nick Zelensky.
Tom Sawyer?
I don't know.
Is when he sells his friend the like mowing his lawn. Is like, I'll let you mow the lawn for I guess a box of cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
hell yeah, dude. I'll give you a box of cookies. I can mow your lawn. Like what a Tom Sawyer motive. Like, can you paint the fence? It's so much fun. Like you're missing out, dude. And like, granted, a lawnmower that's also run by remote control that definitely makes it more fun.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, how lazy of a kid do you have to be to not even mow the lawn if it is remote controlled?
He could have done it from inside.
Yes.
No, yeah, that is something I think should be brought up about Nick. He is lazy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make him lazy, it makes him smart.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, because everybody
All
will
right.
make the argument that Tom Sawyer is smart. He's sneaky.
Okay, I'll start us off with a head scratcher. How does it take them a day to travel 3.2 miles? That's ridiculous. That is okay. I get it. Like you did a great job of making it to where it's like, oh, so you're in the backyard, no big deal. You're just gonna cut through. It's not gonna take you that long. But you break it down mathematically. You're like, we're a quarter inch tall. We're 64 feet to the front or to the backyard door. That equates to 3.2 miles. So I'm like, yeah, that checks out. Small. You can't travel the distance I can. I get it, right? 3.2 miles is not that long at all. It's certainly not a day's plus work. Like even if you're walking, you could probably, I'll even give you an hour a mile. I will give you an hour a mile, and you're basically going snail pace at that.
That's like not moving.
I know, seriously. So if you're looking at that, they got shrunk in the morning. I believe at one point it was 1 p.m. and I think they were halfway. Come on, guys. You gotta do better on the timeline. It's inexplicable that they don't make it across the yard or they don't travel 3.2 miles in a day. It just enough said. Go ahead, Matt.
If I am not mistaken, the average walking speed of a human being is 5 miles per hour. Do that math right there.
Exactly.
5 miles per hour. So I have two things. One, okay,
That's not average walking speed.
even if you're walking less than 5 miles per hour, you can walk 3.2 miles in an hour.
Yep.
So okay. At one point when they start their journey, they say they've got 6 hours to get to the house and to the mall, right?
Right.
Okay, 6 hours. Let's stick with that timeline of you got 6 hours to do it. You're walking across this yard, assuming you don't run into a ton of ants and scorpions along the way.
Correct.
You have a pretty simple distance to go. All right.
Yes.
Best case scenario, it's a smooth, walkable, flat path. You're there in an hour.
Yep.
It's not going to be that you're going to deal with some terrain. Okay, 2.5 to 3 hours. I think you can make that hike.
I do too.
Days? Like, I mean, like this took almost a day. This took almost a day to get across the yard.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they get picked up, flown around, and lose each other. But they find each other again very quickly.
Magically.
Like that's the thing of if you're going to drag this out to be as long as it is, you got to give them lots to deal with.
There has to be more challenges. Yes.
Lots to deal with. Like,
Yes.
I mean, literal setbacks.
Yep.
Okay, you made it halfway, great. Something sends you all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's you have to drag that out to make it like, okay, let's reassess, figure out a plan. Because the problem is the kids are smart, but all they're doing is we've got to get from here to the house.
Yeah.
That's their whole goal. They have no plan after that. It's just get from here to the house. But you got the parents who are like, okay, well, let's find them. Let's work on this. It's like they're able to strategize. They're able to figure out like, okay, we can piece these things together and come up with a plan. Why not let the kids do the same? Maybe they don't have to make it to the house. Maybe they have a bunch of other opportunities. They had fire for a hot minute. You're telling me they couldn't come up with a smoke signal?
Yeah, smoke signal. Yeah.
Something? Like you were able to burn something, find a bunch of it and set it on fire. If there was ever time to set fire to the lawn, now is it. Nick, you had your hand up. I'm sorry I went long.
They're fine. I was gonna kind of counter you guys a little bit on this, just be like, who cares? Like,
That's not a
who
counter,
cares
Nick.
who cares how long it took? We're here for the adventure. We're here for hope. We're here that they make it, that they survive, that they get past the challenges. Who cares if it takes them more than a day to get across the lawn? Who cares? Mic drop.
No mic drop at all.
I care.
It's fun to pick it apart. That's what we do here.
Well, it's just like I have to imagine that their path to get there, if it was just okay, here's the lawn, it's just a square. They went
What, like an ant tunnel?
and now we're here.
Yeah.
Like it's how do you zigzag and crisscross the yard this many times before you're like, oh, the house should be in front of us when we're walking to it. Oh. That's all I'm saying. If you try, like, that's the only way to logically map out this sort of path that they took. Ridiculous.
It's fun.
I do wish that they got to make plans, like, because they had Nick. He's smart. Not you, Nick. You know, the smart.
I know I'm smart.
Did anyone have any other comments about Flight of the Bumblebee?
One, I loved that when in your comment today, when you're like, you can literally take flight with a bumblebee. Like,
I mean, I had to title it that. Like, what else are you going to title it?
That was so good. Yeah, I really appreciated that in the post today. Yeah, I said it earlier and I'm keeping it short, but like I thought they did a great job with it. It looked good and I liked it.
It was cool. There was definitely some like behind the scene things that I was able to pull up on this one. It took a lot of multiple layers to really make this happen. So they built a giant bee for the up close stuff and then the green screen stuff. But for the green screen, they actually did cameras where they walked and did the flight with a camera. And then they paired that all together, resulting in you get the actual camera flight of the bee plus the green screen up close where you feel like they're on the bee. So it was a lot of layers, but I think it really, really great job on putting it all together.
I think there was also some like stop motion too.
Yeah, probably.
Like stop animation. Yeah.
What's up, Jen?
I'm really sorry, guys, but I'm gonna take medicine and go to bed.
Okay.
I'm just like going downhill. I'm starting to sweat. We're not doing good. So.
What medicine do you have?
Huh?
What medicine do you have?
I have NyQuil and Dayquil.
Are you febrile?
Oh.
Do you have a fever?
Oh. No, I don't think so.
Do I have one?
I'm harsh. Okay.
Doctor, I have a fever.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
Can you do that again and just say my stars?
Yeah. Yeah. Drink lots of water, stay hydrated. Take your medicine. Let me know if you need anything.
Oh, well, thank you.
Make sure you have your chicken noodle soup with the soda on the side.
Soda.
It's the soda. It's watered down Sprite. But Pedialyte's good. Pedialyte's good for you.
Dude, my sick food is top ramen. The actual package, not those stupid cups.
Yeah.
Why bring more styrofoam into the world, right?
Dude, it's the square noodle package. Man, that is the best sick food. God, I love it.
That food is sick.
Progresso. But okay, I'm gonna go.
All right.
You guys talk about sick food. Final thoughts. I don't know who. Auntie wins the movie because he just wins it. And final thoughts is this could have been better. I was not impressed with this movie. And it's sad because I know I liked it when I was younger, but it just didn't hit the same. So kind of like what I was saying in the beginning. So, that's it. Yay. Night night.
Night. Taking it out. I hope you feel better.
Next week, you want to just shoot it in the...
Oh, I mean, I can just say I'm kicking off this trilogy. We're gonna do Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
All right, that's the next. I needed to know what was the next one.
Yeah, it's we're doing it. I'm hopping us into the honey train.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Okay, I'll be ready next week.
Good night.
All right. Feel better.
Thank you.
All right. The dead weight's gone. No, I'm just kidding.
I did have one nitpick since we were talking about Flight of the Bumblebee. I did have one nitpick for it.
What?
My nitpick is we go prior to this and prior to them being shrunk, we find out that little Russ is apparently weak and got kicked out of the football team and all that stuff, right? But, and this is when I think you watched this movie way too many times. But anyway, as they're on the Bumblebee, Russ has no problem one hand grabbing Nick Stalinsky and just throwing him on the bee with him.
I don't remember that.
Okay, one, I can't argue for the kid's strength other than he wasn't kicked off the football team. He quit, meaning I don't think he was ever weak. I think he's just, I don't care about football. I don't want to play.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think he's been strong. You get to see him with the weights earlier where he's, he's doing much better than his dad.
Yeah. I thought his dad was going to have a hernia.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think he's a particularly like super strong. He's certainly not on your level of fitness. But I mean, I never really got the impression that he was just like this scrawny dude. Because this is something I paid attention to on this one where I'm like, I'm really trying to think about little Russ on this, where it seems like he's kind of like a dork or somebody who was picked on and most likely for being short. Mm-hmm. And of course, they kind of imply that his dad is his bully. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine he was kind of dealing with some of that at home or not at school too. So it's just, I think that's where it was. Like he it's not obvious, but he was one of these characters where he wasn't cool. And now he's been put into a situation where it's like, I'm kind of good looking and I've got an end to be somewhat charming because he's myself.
He's trying to figure out who he is for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. I like that about his character that I never really noticed before this watch of like, he's a lot more in depth of a character than you'd initially think.
Yeah.
You're talking about the son, right?
Yes. Lil Russ.
Yeah. The one who didn't want to go fishing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. He's also got a love interest.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like they, she's the popular girl and she's too cool for me. And, people, probably, I'm going to say people just because I'd like to assume it's not only his dad that's telling him he's small and you're small, you need to get bigger. kind of thing. I imagine that weighs on you heavy, especially when it's your father. But I want to assume other people are saying it to him too, just to kind of feed into my own theory on this. But yeah, I think like he's recent. I feel like it's an ugly duckling situation, right? Like he only recently got good looking and girls are starting to take notice to him, but because he's kind of finding himself now where he's breaking away from what his dad wanted him to be and being more of himself, it's like he's finding his actual confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's the ugly duckling, and because the popular hot girl next door is now noticing me, right? Like it's, I'm just saying, I feel like there's a lot more going on with.
Gotcha.
I can relate.
Well, I watched the movie again. I almost wish that they brought Russ back in.
I also noticed we got 2 movies in a row with the character named Russ.
Oh,
yeah.
Not planned.
Yeah, not planned.
Well, now we're gonna have 2 movies with the characters named Ron. Not Ron. Wayne. I wanted to say Wayne. I know. If you'd like to start us off with something of your own thinking, please do.
No, I'll let you, because maybe go for it.
No, I want to see. I want you to bring it up.
Okay.
I want you to bring it up organically if you're thinking about this. I just want to be like, yes. There's no way.
All right.
Are you testing him to see if he knows what you're thinking of?
Well, I'm testing
I
myself.
think he is. Yeah.
I'm testing myself to see if I know him.
Okay.
I'm 100% on the spot.
Don't make it about you. It's not about you, Brian. Nick said
okay.
It's not about you.
No, let's we'll start with the scene. Sweeping up the dust bodies.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. There's one moment in this that I had but I quickly convinced myself.
Okay.
There's one obvious thing about it that I hate, but
let's hear it.
No, Nick, go ahead.
I actually came up with the title for the scene as I was watching it. Do you guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome to your inevitable broom.
It's a bit of a wordy title, but I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's more of a tagline.
You don't like mine?
Prepare to beat your broom.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. That's a better one.
That's a much better one. Do you guys like mine? I did a little play on it, on something.
The dust bunnies.
Yeah, the dust bunnies, dust bodies.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah. I like prepare to meet your broom. Damn it, that's that's the best one.
I just on the as a quick thing, it was like, because what starts this is oh no, it doesn't. No, sorry, I'm thinking of a different scene. Go on. I'm wrong.
No, I wrote this down because, believe it or not, this is the first scene that I actually wrote down. I was like, oh, finally, we're on a scene that's worth talking about. Like, that's how the movie does start off on a pretty slow pace, to where it's like, wow, there's really nothing to discuss at all, except, and then you get to here and you're like, finally, okay, good, they're shrunk, and we got something to talk about. So I just like it. First of all, the sound effects that they had in the attic were just banging. Honestly, the sound effects in the movie was so good. Like the butterfly going flying above them, and like the footsteps, the clonk clonk, like just how big how loud they made things sound for how tiny they were. And then we got like the sweeping thing. He starts to beat the crap out of his machine, and these little tiny pieces, as they're coming down, are like, it's like just an avalanche of machinery, and they make it seem like it is so treacherous. And so even though it's like, it could be like a tiny little piece of a circuit board to us, but to them it's like the planet is coming to an end. And they do such a great job of making the viewers feel that. And then when you get to the brooms, it's like they're trying to run, and he's sweeping like you normally would. You're just sweep here. So there is no like actual regular formation. It's just like I see this area needs to be swept, this area needs to be swept, and these guys are trying to run. And then the thing that really hit me is when they're on the broom, they're each bristle seems like it's like a freaking like strings of rope almost. And I'm like, wow, that's one broom. Like to us, again, one broom bristle is like this little tiny thing. These guys are full on bear hugging it. And I thought it was just a really great scene of basically showing like, yeah, they're little. They are very, 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 very little. So yeah, that was awesome. The only head scratch that I have on it is why not just hold on to the broom instead of going into the dustpan? Just you're high enough, just hold on to the broom. He's gonna put the broom down, and then you're not having to go into the trash. So, little problem solving there. Go ahead, Nick.
Couple things. First of all, it's not swept, it's swept. Second of all, sorry, I had to.
Wow. Grammar patrol.
Like as you were talking, I was like, oh, that's another thing I gotta mention. That's another thing I gotta mention.
We shrunk all this stuff going on. Like,
I know. It's like that all over again. But what I was really the most impressed with the scene was how they like intertwined the sets, like the small set of when they're on each like floorboard, like that looked so good, and it didn't look like it was green screen. Like it looks like they were on these like huge pieces of wood that was carved and etched and stained to look like the floor of the room.
Yeah.
And just the way that they combined, the big broom with the small broom, and like the big room with the small room, like it just all like it all blended really well together.
Yeah.
And I think that they did such an impressive job combining like the computer. I don't even know if it's CG. I think it's all mostly practical for this scene.
I'm pretty sure it's just green screen. Like,
yeah. Green screen would be the extent of it, but no like computer graphics or anything. No. It was really impressive.
The dead fly was really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Just again showing how small they are. It's like that fly looks enormous.
Yeah, and huge.
Yeah,
so huge.
Oh no,
sorry, it was huge. But yeah, it's just what was the other thing I was gonna say? When you commented about the exploding like mechanical computer chip pieces,
yeah,
I love like this happens more throughout the movie, but that's one of the things I love is like seeing like these small things become life size, and they become like meteors to these kids, like, and you see it later on with the sprinklers come on. Like to us, like those are just tiny little specks of water, but to them they're like giant water balloons. It's just so cool, and they did a really good job at that. Like
I agree,
they did a good job with the scale of it, I guess is really what I'm trying to get at. Yeah,
they truly make you feel that these guys are very, very, very tiny.
Yeah.
Anyone else with me on just holding on to the broom, or am I alone on that one?
You're making me think about the scene, because like I don't really remember. Is it one of those things where they couldn't hold on anymore, or were they letting go?
They don't even show that. They show them that they're on the broom, and then all of a sudden, somehow they are now in the dustpan, being put into the trash.
I think they just kind of like fall into the dustpan. I don't really know if
I don't even know if they show
like 1,
that.
2, 3, let's go, or if they were like shoved on there. I don't know.
I don't even think they ever show the transition of broom to dustpan. That's what I'm getting at.
I think they do.
I'm like, just hold on to the broom, guys. Like,
I do feel like the broom would be tough, because ultimately think about like the momentum of him like sweeping.
Yeah.
You're having to hold on to that Like
that's fast.
That's tough. Like for
that
you,
is true for their side. Yeah,
tough.
that is true.
Plus you've got shit coming at you every time that thing gets like every time that thing sweeps up, there's more stuff coming at you.
Yeah.
So it's like that's hazardous. So like I see where you're at, but I don't know. It's a tough situation of like it can go either way depending because we didn't see, right?
Yeah.
They just say they were there, now they're here, which they're right to say. Nicholas.
I have a scene that's kind of actually before this a little bit.
Yep.
It's the baseball scene.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have a title for it or not, but
I'm gonna miss.
I'm hoping someone else can relate, but as soon as that kid walked into that backyard and was trying to like hit that ball with the bat, I was like, oh no, nothing good is going to come out from this. Like he's going to hit something. It's going to be a car window, a house window. And these are like 2-3 story houses. They're close together. Like backyard is not a big yard either. And
yeah,
I was like, something bad is going to happen here. But what I like about just the whole baseball thing in general is like this is like really what kickstarts like the movie. It's what activates the machine and everything. But I do like that Wayne, like at the progression of how Wayne discovers that the ball was the reason why it activated the machine. Like he notices the hole in the window at some point, and then he notices the ball inside of the room at some point. And I like that they kind of do that explanation to us as to how he figures it out. Yes, it's very simple, but I think it works. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
This kind of leads me to one of my head scratch, or it's one of my ultimate head scratches of the movie.
Okay.
How does Wayne not immediately think that his shrink machine works? It's baffling to me. He goes upstairs. He goes and he's like, oh, I've got a broken window. Okay. The kids are missing. I'm going to sit down on my couch and I just fall on my ass. Where the hell did my couch go? What is he thinking? Like someone broke into his attic to steal his, like, how do you not instantly think like, I have a shrink machine that I've been trying to get to work and now my couch is missing and my kids are missing. Perhaps I should start looking around this thing to see if at least my couch is visible. I just don't understand how the first thing in his mind isn't they must be shrunk.
I just want to play devil's advocate.
Please do.
I'm with you. They show how quickly he can think and like these things together later. So I want to play devil's advocate because they do a great job of also explaining there's a lot going on here where they explain that he's been working on this machine for a long time. He left his job to work on this. So he's just been busting ass on this while mom has been doing all of it.
Right.
And that's caused tension in the marriage. She's been gone. So like he's got all of that weighing on him. There's a lot of pressure and he failed today. He failed, like pure and simple, all of that work. I couldn't get it to work in time. I failed. And I mean, I don't imagine you're thinking right when just everything is going wrong, right? It's like, great, there's a hole in my freaking window. Great, my couch is gone. Like it's like what more could happen? Like you're just at that point, you're just like, what's next, right? Like, so I'm gonna say it's just a pile it on shitty enough day that like he's just not in his right mind right then. And
so you're calling clouded judgment.
Absolutely. But what I'll say is like the big turning point is when Diane comes home. You see everything with him change because she comes back with good news. I sold the house. Oh my God, these friggin' like they're awful. Like we finally got it. I sold the house. Like this is good news, and she's bringing it. She did something great. I'm proud of her. I'm happy for her. Like it's all like the whole energy changes when she enters the house again. And that's what leads to him having the discovery. And then it's him, doing what he's doing to try and find him.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
yeah. I'm with you. I think he's smart enough that on any given day, first thought, it's like, oh my God,
Holy
it's
shit.
gone. Where is it? Right? Like,
Yeah.
it worked. How did it work? What happened? What, like, it's going down. He's making that because also he picks up the ball, doesn't he?
Yes.
I think he does. Yes.
He picks up the ball, which clearly has a freaking burn hole in it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think on a normal day, absolutely, he does piece it all together immediately. He's not dumb. We know that. But this is a pilot on shitty day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Nick.
I mean, I feel like there could have been kind of like a moment where he's like, hole in window, baseball, tiny couch, kids are missing. Like like there could have been that kind of a scene where he's like you watch his brain putting it all together in real time. And like they kind of have it, but
I can see that scene too.
It's like Steve going through his handy dandy notebook. Flipping through his clues.
Yeah.
That
would have been like super Disney, to have a scene like that. And then it does the like the vertigo, like the camera like vertigo effect of like the camera's moving forward and as it's zooming out, like,
I was thinking Arnold and Jingle All the Way, or where they do that with, and it's just him staring at the camera.
Yeah.
Scared face. Yeah. Is Brian frozen right now?
Yeah, but he's in a good freeze frame to be frozen.
I know, like what a great smile.
He's like looking like a Chad over here with his smile.
I was just like, he has not moved. Like, this is an odd thing. We lost.
Oh, okay.
Blink for us. It doesn't
blink
count.
twice if you're alive.
Blink twice if you're.
My internet's like, fuck you.
Well,
were you guys talking about anything, or did I miss anything?
No, not really, because we just finished what we were saying, and then we noticed that you were frozen, and that's where we were at.
Yeah, okay.
But we were acknowledging that you were stuck in like a wonderful. You know how most people, it's like, it's like you had
this like super like
nice
Chad
spot.
like Chad and Brad look to you like a smile, like
nice. Well,
straight up Abercrombie over here, man.
Yeah. He's like the photos in like the great clips, Like,
yeah.
Like
I got a sports clips. Shout out.
I got a scene. If you guys don't have anything,
go for it.
I think we've established. Don't give me a window.
Nick, you brought it up already, but just seeing if anyone has any more comments. I titled it "What Are You Doing?"
What are you doing? It's just called "What Are You Doing?"
Yes.
No, Nick, it's not called "What Are You Doing?" It's called "What Are You Doing?"
Oh, what are you doing?
Okay, I have some comments on this scene for sure.
Please just confirm that all of this excitement is correct. Say the scene.
Say the scene.
Yeah, tell. Can you just describe the scene?
Oh, this is by when the sprinklers go on.
Yeah.
And this is a lump of 7 minutes or so. So there's a lot going on here.
Really, a 7-minute sequence of them running from these sprinklers?
I'm guessing because I'm starting this at the very top of it where he.
Yeah. No. Yes, go on. Go on.
He decides, I'm going to put on these magnifying binocular glass thingies. I don't even know what to call
Oh my God.
And then he's like, and for pure safety, I'm not going to touch the lawn. but I am going to go on still and walk over the place that I'm not looking to make sure
So
to make
funny.
sure that I'm looking close enough for the kids. Let's just start with that. I'm like, okay, I can see that you're trying to get close up on the action with your eyes. Congratulations. The stilts aren't going to do anything, buddy, except give them another way squished and killed.
And it makes you taller. So
Yeah.
you're farther
Which
away
means you're
from
further
them.
away from what you're trying to look at. I mean, this is just a bad idea. Really, really bad idea.
I call it Mach 1.
Mach 1.
It's his first idea, and
Right.
it's him realizing like, yes, this has so many flaws. But again, it's him panicked. He's like, two thoughts. I got to be able to see them. They're small,
Yeah.
but I have to have as small a footprint as possible.
Right.
He hasn't thought of float.
It's bad. And the irony is they would be killed by a crutch, and crutches are meant to heal. Yeah.
I mean, that would be like a spear to them.
I mean, no, dude.
That is a mountain coming down on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or a building crashing on you.
Oh, that is a straight up mountain.
Yeah. God. Anyway.
That is a mountain falling because that's the peak coming down on you.
Right.
The weight is that 100-something man coming down on you.
Yep. Yeah, that's done.
Squish it.
All right, so we've got that going on. Now we've already established he's not truly in the right frame of mind, thinking wise, but you would think that he would at least be smart enough to turn off the water entirely, knowing that the kids are out there, but he doesn't. And so now he's walking around, the hose stuck to the water, and he activates the sprinkler system. So while all this shenanigans is going in real world, or actually technically it's all real world, big world, now we get to find out what's happening in tiny world. And it's what you were saying, Nick. These tiny sprinkler drops are basically tsunami bubbles.
Tsunami bubbles.
I don't know what to call them,
man.
Like, what do you call these?
No, that's perfect. That's perfect.
The sound effects alone, right? Again, I keep going back to sound in this movie. Just so much water pressure, and in big world it's and just but going back to where these
swimming pool being dropped on you,
that's pretty much what it is. Or I don't know, tsunami bubble works. I'm gonna go with it.
If you could picture a swimming pool just being dumped onto you,
right?
Yeah,
that's it.
Or actually a legit tidal wave coming into the West Coast is pretty much what it's like, right?
It's like war, but with water.
Yeah. There were big old drops of rain, stinging rain.
World War water.
Anyway, so that's happening, and you see how quickly the ground goes from dry to
Moist.
What?
Moist.
And so, that's happened. This is ironically after the flight of the Bumblebee, where now everyone just happens to be in the same area as the tsunami is coming down on them. And they find that the centerpiece rock, that one rock in their backyard. And I was like, good move. Get away, find some shelter. You could tell it's edged like a rock would be. And that was good. Not smart going at the very edge of it and screaming for Nick. It's just maybe wait for it to be less slippery and all that. But because now we go from that to we're now in a drowning thing. But Meanwhile, in Big World, somehow Wayne has fallen off the stilts and is now hanging on the clothesline like a sloth. And and to top it all off, the Bigglestons are here. This scene is ridiculous. Near-death experience, drowning experience. He's stay off the lawn, get off the lawn, and oh my god, I love it. This is it's hilarious. It's dramatic. It's hitting all cylinders on this one. Do you guys have any other comments to talk about it, or?
I mean, the first thing is just like the clothing line. Him falling on that clothing line got me so hard. It was, it's like just so ridiculous, and it just made me giggle.
Yeah,
so funny.
I have always loved his reactions to when he falls. Like when like he understands the implications of what stepping on them means.
right.
And he is so afraid of that like his body, like, I mean, he's like a cat when it like just convulses and it flies up 10 feet. Like, I mean,
that's exactly.
That's him in those moments of like, get off that. Like that's him. And I love it as a character thing, but it leads to those hilarious moments. And I mean, how do you balance the like tragedies that are happening below? You gotta have a dad who's like, okay, this is a bad situation. I understand it's a bad situation, but we can also kind of chuckle at this.
Yeah.
When you take it out of context, it's a weird thing to find humorous in the time.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, somebody's literally dying down there. But we can laugh at it. It's like it's a, delicate ecosystem, it's a sensitive lawn.
Yeah.
Like he can make jokes
water it too much.
Yeah, he can make jokes to kind of lighten the mood for a second.
I'm glad he was quick enough to turn the water off, though.
He
was
always quick to act.
Yeah. And then I love when he's talking to them. He has his contraption to look at. He's got clothes hanging off of his side. He looks like a total wreck, and he's like, yeah, by the way, I've got the escrow papers. You want to go sign them?
Does he? I wasn't paying attention in the moment. Does he actually remember to do the escrow papers?
They never show, but I'm wondering if the house sale fell through. I question.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
Yeah,
because I imagine that Diane has like mentioned her husband is like, yeah, he's a bit eccentric. they were warned. She's been trying to sell to these guys for a minute.
Yeah,
but you know exactly what I'm leading to in this scene.
There needs to be like a blooper scene at the end or something where I think it's Bickerstons or Biggertons, or I forgot their name.
It's the Bigglestons.
We're the Bigglestons.
Bigglestons. Yeah, I don't know.
Or Bigglesteins.
Don't get locked in it. I'm gonna hunt it down.
Anyway, there needs to be like a blooper where Diane is now actually closing the deal on the house, and they're just like, wow, your husband really loves his lawn. Something like that. Let me tell you what we saw, Mrs. Solinsky.
I love that the Bigglestons like see them.
Borstein.
What?
Borstein.
The Borsteins?
They are the Borsteins.
I like Bigglesteins way better.
I know I didn't want to like stop it. Let's call them the Bigglesteins, but to be clear, they are the Borsteins.
The Borsteins. Okay.
So the Bigglesteins. Like that scene when they see Wade and Diane like from their backyard, just like both twirling on those little like catapult thingies. Like, can you imagine being like those people's neighbor?
Oh yeah. That wasn't the Borsteins though. That was the
I gotcha.
The camp basically the
Foresters.
The Homer Bound guy.
The Foresters. I'm so glad to see that's what you remember him.
That's all I remember him as. I'm like, oh damn, you're the Homeward Bound dude.
Yes. Oh man, Brian, you were killing me tonight.
Yeah, no, it's his girl.
I
He
love.
looks up
I
and he's
wanted to
like,
shout her out.
he looks up, he's like, hun, that man is flying.
Yeah, okay, Gloria.
The man is flying.
So funny.
Let's see what shoots with that one, you know?
Yeah.
I just want to say these guys were not good husbands.
No, terrible. Oh geez.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
so what were you saying about the what are you doing, Matt?
You know what I'm talking about.
I
Oh, we haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh, are you going with the way she was resuscitated?
Yes.
Is that where you're going?
Yes.
I let it slide. I was like, it's 89. No one knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
That is such bullshit.
It's beyond bullshit. You number one, you're not even compressing the chest.
That
Let's
okay.
start with that.
That was literally I don't know if it's gonna show them, but like my notes. Yeah, right there. It's a big old 0.
Yeah.
CPR compressions. Big fat goose egg.
Yeah.
But
again, it's 89. People did things differently. I don't know how they're doing CPR back then, but and then holding
Here's
the
my
nose
argument.
and just strictly just doing basically mouth.
Here's my argument.
I'm sorry.
Here's my argument. I have to
Sure.
squash it right now. The Sandlot. Wendy's doing compressions. She's doing breaths.
Oh, you're right.
And that's like the freaking what?
Yeah.
60s, 50s?
You're right.
Like I have to imagine to be fair, he admits he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's artificial, right?
Where did you learn artificial breathing? French class.
French class, baby.
Oh, French class. Which, by the way, is my favorite joke of this entire movie. Do you get it, Nicholas?
No, I thought you were going to explain it, but no, I don't.
Oh my god! Okay. French class. What's it called when you're making out with somebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I was thinking a lot more complicated than that.
Oh, that is the joke. It's
French kiss.
So like he admits he doesn't know what he was doing. It's just I'm fucking going for it.
I mean, the fact that they called it artificial respiration, right then and there, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna let this one slide.
No, it's fine. It's just like I'm like, you need Mr. Paramedic Man. You just passed. You can't let that slide right now.
Yeah, no,
Mr. Paramedic Man.
Yeah.
I chalked it up for we've got a teenager who is probably was hesitant to even jump into to the water after her. And he's like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I know she's got to breathe. I'll just blow into her mouth and it gives me a chance to have my lips touch hers. So, win.
Don't make Russ creepy. That's the only thing I will
I'm just telling myself he's a teenager. He probably didn't know to do chest compressions. It's fine. If anyone's listening, if people don't have a pulse, the number one thing you can do is chest compressions, guys. And you're going for 100 to 120 per minute. That's your rate. That's it.
Staying alive.
You can do that? Absolutely.
That's everybody's got a song, but I can't remember where I learned that one from.
That would be The Office, most likely. If you, because they do a hilarious CPR episode.
Oh God, yeah.
It's freaking.
It's not the one where
it's when Dwight
he cuts off the face with those Silence of the Lambs. I love the episodes where I haven't watched all of it, but I love when Dwight just goes freaking like psychopath.
Yeah. Like uncomfortably
happening.
Uncomfortably scary.
Yeah.
Man, I'm actually running to the end here, I think. Let's see. We did that. All right. I have one more scene. I have one head scratcher, two head scratchers. 3. Okay, some head scratchers left for sure.
I have a few quotes and really a scene, but it's barely a scene. It's more an observation.
Okay, well, let's hear yours, and then I'll do my scene.
Okay, so I'm it starts with the quote, but it's my couch. When he walks in and steps on his chair,
Yeah,
and here's a like all I could think was how lucky that he didn't step on his couch, his thinking couch. Like it's okay. You lose your chair, bummer. But you still
yeah,
have your thinking couch. It's like how lucky of all the situations. Like
Mhm.
observation. That's all.
yeah.
Just screw the chair. You got your thinking couch. Go, Nick.
I have a question. Uh, is a thinking couch like a real thing, or is it just like for this movie? Like,
Oh, no,
I just don't, I don't really understand it.
It's probably what he called it.
Yeah.
Like it's just a couch that he sits on to think. Is that really
Yeah,
just
exactly.
just
It's
like,
it's a couch. It's just a standard couch, but he calls it his thinking couch.
okay?
Well, it's his workshop. So it's like whenever he is in, okay, I've hit a wall. I need to sit down somewhere comfortable and think.
Yeah,
I like my couch. My
there
thinking.
you go.
Okay, it's just funny. It's funny to me that he calls it his thinking couch, not just the couch. Like
It's his thing. It's important because people know. My thinking couch, right?
He became attached to it.
Yeah. Which is
All
He's
right.
attached to a few things.
My scene here, and then obviously we'll do the ending later. But my scene. Cheerio, son.
Okay.
It's so on the nose. It's like I don't know.
Too good.
It's so on the nose. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. Cheerio, son.
Cheerio.
The accent is
Brian is on fire tonight. I'm gonna.
It's the accent that does it.
Yeah.
Cheerio. Cheerio.
I was like,
Brian,
oh, this
you
is
must
too
have
easy,
enjoyed
too
the
good.
Super Bowl and got some good rest. I hate you.
No, so obviously this is it's just another great job of them doing size and again making a life or death situation out of it, right? It's we've already got them. They're riding. They rode Cork in. Good job, Corky. Cork. No, Cork. I think it's just Cork. And of course, we're like, well, it can't just be we're bringing him to the table, and we got to give another dramatic thing. And I was like, damn, this could get dark real quick. But having Nick fall into the Cheerios and it just looked, damn it, did that look so real. The use of the 16,000 or that tank that they used, and again we talked about it earlier, but the tractor inner tubes, what a move. So smart, 12 feet in diameter. And then they just spray paint it with foam. And I'm like, whoever thought of that, just great job. Because the detail that they did, like, yeah, just really crushed it. And then I don't, and I couldn't even find it in research. I get the whole bowl thing, but when they actually had the spoon, I had no idea. I'm out. No idea how they did that one. And then him, close to his mouth and all that. So it was really cool. And then of course you're like, is he gonna eat him? We don't know. And then once again, Cork to the rescue, bite the ankle, and suddenly he sees his son on a spoon. And then he seemed oddly chill about it. He's like, oh, Nick's on the spoon. I was like, bro, he was about to be your breakfast. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh no, I was just gonna say with the that shot of him going to the mouth on the spoon, don't eat me. That is the clip of this trailer.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if that was the only thing you saw of this movie as like a teaser for it,
oh yeah,
you know exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And knowing that, it impresses me that like they show it in the trailer, but I guarantee the whole movie, if that was the reason you went to go see this, you're like, when is he in the spoon? Like, when does this come? And like, of course, it's the end.
Yeah.
But there's no like that's such a buildup too. It's like, oh my god, he's gonna get eaten. It's like, what happened? It's like,
Right.
is it going to be a Jonah and the whale situation? Does he go through the system? Oh my god! Like the implications, right? So I love that it ends up being Quark who saves the day.
Dude, great job by Quark all around.
Well, he tried the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Other than the unnecessarily silly moment of sending Wayne on a ride, which was hilarious. But
Leave it to a dog to be like, oh, hangy thing.
and I thank you. You know what? Thank you for that, because I didn't want to believe that it's just a dog being a dog in that moment, but
it for
is.
sure is.
It is. It's a dog. It's just a dog being a dog. But Quark is so smart. Go ahead, Nick.
Brian, you said earlier something about tractor tubes that they put foam over. Is that
inner tubes of tractors?
I don't know. Are you saying like the tube is
so inside of a tractor's tire is an inner tube?
There you go.
And that's what they used for like the milk
to make the Cheerios.
To make the Cheerio part, yeah.
Make the Cheerio, they covered that inner tube in foam so that it builds up. Wow. And they can color it and texture it to make it look like a Cheerio. And now you've got perfect floating Cheerios.
That's really cool. Was that one of the fun facts that you said earlier?
Yeah. Oh, you missed all of the fun facts. That's true.
Yeah.
And it's 12 feet in diameter.
Wow.
And then they also used a 16,000 gallon tank with milk like, or no, what was it? Milk. What was the wording? Milk like substance used for this scene.
I mean, it's probably water with like some non-chemical additives mixed.
I know a lot of foam was used for this. A lot. They went through a lot of foam for this movie.
Yeah.
Like the pollen was foam.
Yeah.
There was a lot of foam. The blades of grass was made of foam. Like, yeah.
I mean, you would be surprised what is still foam today. Like people, if you can do so much with foam.
Oh, absolutely, you can.
So much with foam. It would blow your mind what people can do with foam.
All right, let's just rip through a couple of head scratchers if you guys are okay with it.
Yeah.
All right, this one is pretty plain and simple here. Golf clubs for camping. What are we doing? Did anyone catch it?
I mean, yes.
Okay.
The fact that they just kept packing things, I'm like, are you taking the entire house?
Yeah, but when I saw her grab, it was his wife, May, I believe was her character name. She grabs the bag of golf clubs and throws it over. I'm like, why? I am a golfer. I've been a golfer for a very long time. I've also camped. Never once have they been together.
You have a weekend. There's no way that you're going to a lake and a golf course.
Yeah. I don't buy it.
And fishing. Like, no. All
right. So we're just going to move on to the next one.
I imagine that so
we don't need to unpack this one, believe me. No one's bringing golf clubs to camping.
But the only example I want to give is because it's Disney. Pete in a Goofy movie.
Sure.
That's the guy. That is who these guys are when it comes to camping. They're campers.
Right. Just cranking out the RV.
It's get the RV out there and we just like take up way too much space and do whatever the hell we want. And it's just a massive disruptance. Awful camper.
Hey, it's pizza cake. You know what I mean. All right. This is probably more discussion. Was it me, or did almost everyone seem too okay to be shrunk? like
You want more
not free,
panic.
what?
You want more panic.
Like not freaked out. Even the parents are like, oh, the kids are shrunk. It just seemed like just everyone was so like this was like this has happened before type thing. I'm like, I just feel that they're it's like we're talking about 4 kids that have been shrunk to a quarter-inch tall and are missing and are going on their own adventure, and everyone just seemed like, especially immediately, they're just like, we're shrunk in the attic and we're completely fine about this. Go ahead, Nick.
Okay. I'm assuming that the kids knew about this shrink ray or shrink device that he was making. So I feel like it's not so out of this world to say that they were shocked or surprised that it worked on them, right? Like, whoa, the thing that dad's been working on for so long works. Like, whoa. I don't know. Maybe as kids, like that would be a cool thing. But the problem that I have is when they come back to real life, like to real size, like the parents are just like, oh, there you are, honey. And then gives a hug. Like the parents were so nonchalant when the kids came back to normal life that I was like, your kids were missing. They had like 100 near death attempts. Like I feel like you would be a lot more concerned. Just the overall situation in general. Then they come back to normal. So I was like, oh, there you are, honey. Like it's just, I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell with me.
Diane, she knows her kids are missing. She comes home and Wayne's like, look, this is the couch. And she's like, you got it? You got the shrink machine to work? And I was like, your kids are missing, Diane.
Yeah.
How are you celebrating about the shrink machine that's working?
She didn't connect the dots yet.
Yeah, tough.
Again, playing devil's advocate, I do think that, I mean, it's the Thompsons, right? Like the neighbors of the Thompsons, Russ, Ron,
yes,
Thompson.
the Thompsons, correct.
Ron in particular, I think responds appropriately when with his whole like, panic is the perfect time to panic. Like getting all worked up. But I don't know. The kids, at least, like the Zelinskys, they wouldn't be surprised that it happened, right? Because you wouldn't let your dad quit his job and spend however much time it's been working on this not to believe he can actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
So for it to happen, I think it would be, well, it's all panic at first, but it's like, assess the situation. We're shrunk. What the hell do we do? Let's try and get his attention. Scream. Oh God, he can't hear us. Now we're in trash. Right? Like you don't have time to think after he starts sweeping and destroying things. Like he can't hear you. Although wise person would get out of the center of the floor. I mean, maybe get out of foot traffic and save yourself something. Like, also flying debris. This is where like my complaint is that I wanted to say for this one was like, with you brought up with the sweeping, at a certain point he is kind of going in random directions, but this is like, it's the falling tower conundrum. Why run in a straight line if it can only fall in one singular path? Yeah, choose it, go left, go right. And they could have done that at a certain point.
They could have.
That's so like there's that where it's like I think that
I mean,
but I'm sorry, I've gone way off.
They could have even gone to the right side or the left side of the yard and not be in the lawn. There might be like a walkway or something, and just there's a lot of things that they could have done.
But yes, I
actually, that brings me to a head scratcher. Should they have climbed to the top of that rock and just stayed there?
I feel like they still would not have been seen.
But they certainly would have seen the parents.
Well, we don't need to bring that up again.
Yeah.
That is what I do think is a problem. For me, my first thought, especially with tall grass, is get to the highest point. So these guys spend so much time down low. you get to a rock that's like, oh, it's that one rock that we have in the middle of our yard. And to be fair, they haven't seen them swooping at this point from what we know.
No.
So like you wouldn't know that they're actively up there looking for you, so you wouldn't go high. Your goal would always be get to the house.
Yeah.
You have the most visibility. So I'll give them that. But if they had seen that they were swooping, hell yeah, get to that rock and see if you can get that cigarette back.
Ooh, yeah. That's the move. Wait for sunset. Once you get your torches, climb the rock with your torches and just
hey, what's that little
come on
over there? Yeah, there are no fireflies in California.
Right.
Go ahead, Nick.
Matt, you actually just reminded me of a nitpick I had. That damn cigarette that still, burning on the grass. These kids are literally right up to the cigarette. Don't you think that they would get hit with this like huge amount of smoke and like nicotine, and like would they like essentially taking all of the oxygen like out of the air that's around them, and like get really sick? Like, I don't know, them standing right in front of that cigarette, just
not to mention the heat surrounding it in general. They should not be able to get that close to it.
No, there's just so much wrong with the cigarette.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't make sense to me. But I liked the torch idea.
It was good.
Like I liked making torches. Like I thought that was really cool. They probably could have done it with like a match that was like flicked into the yard or something. I don't know. It's just that's my like health nitpick, if if there is one.
No, I've
here's
got
my
that.
fix.
Yeah. I agree, Nick.
Yeah.
Here's my fix. You get Russ talking to Zelensky over the fence with his cigarette. He's leaning over the fence. So now you have end of the cigarette is in Zelensky's yard. He flicks it, ash falls. Now they've got much smaller embers to deal with, which likely you can get closer to. They will burn out faster, but you can get a light off of it.
Yeah. And it's not the source.
Exactly.
Like poison.
You've got a strong coal down there that you can pull from.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not unbearable heat. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just that there's a fix right there. And it doesn't even have to be a conversation. Maybe he just leans over the fence and you hear him muttering like that damn Zelensky, he did something with my kids, whatever. I'm just get him over the fence, flick his ash, done. You still get them light. He can panic and throw the cigarette over and like.
Also, what a dick move to just flick your cigarette into someone else's lawn.
For real though. Although this was so tall, how would they know?
Yeah, that was a dick move.
Yeah.
All right, I have in the ending.
I found another scene, and I don't think it's one to lean on, but it's just
hit me.
It's fun. I titled it "Are you white fanging me, Ron?"
White fanging? Is that what you said?
Are you white fanging me, Ron?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
It's when they end their ride with Auntie, and they take the harness off, and he says, "Okay, go. You're free." And Auntie decides to stick with them, but he does the whole like, "Come on, get, you're free.
Get,
yeah,
go, shoot."
Yeah, I try to send him away.
See, that was more like Air Bud to me.
I just the whole situation reminded me of New Girl, where it's Schmidt, white Schmidt, CC. Yeah. So I thought, are you white fanging me, Ron?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I didn't know that was called white fanging. Is that the term for that?
I mean,
that's been done multiple times.
I don't know if it was the first one, but in White Fang, a boy befriends a wolf that he has to send away for its safety and things, and he has to scare it off, and it's like, get out of here, I hate you. Like it's a big emotional thing of telling this thing that he actually loves that and scaring it off so it lives and he lives. So yeah. I think it's fed off.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh no, it's a real thing. It says per Google, it says to white fang someone is to let someone go no matter how much it may hurt you because it's what's best for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a real term.
Are you white
The
fang?
ending, yeah. I don't really know. There's really not much to talk about on the ending.
It wraps up pretty nicely.
It does.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't like their charades of baseball though.
yeah, pretty bad.
It was just, you guys are way tiny. You don't look.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, really bad baseball. The one thing I will say on the ending is they clearly do a great job of setting up that there is room for a sequel here.
Mm-hmm.
And as we will find out next week.
How does it end? I forgot.
It's a big ass turkey.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving presumably, and they've got a big turkey.
Like a big turkey.
Yeah, that was random.
lot of foam on that one. Yeah. So I mean, it's a great setup.
Does the machine have like a switch to like
Where you're
enlarge things?
You know what? Watch the movie.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, it's like,
right.
Okay, Wayne, you not only can shrink things, but you can also make them bigger in size. Great.
He cured world hunger. Like, are we not addressing this? Like,
yeah, and
he solved it. He
probably made packing a lot easier.
He created the PIM particle.
God, can you imagine all the drugs you can smuggle in now?
Oh God, yeah.
Kilos on kilos, baby. Oh my God, honey, that's a spinoff. The shrunken drug dealer.
It's like a spin-off of like Breaking Bad. Like
Shrinking Bad. Can you imagine like anyone just like pisses him off or gets in his way? Somehow he's like made it to where he has like handguns that do the same shrink power, and so he just starts shrinking all the people that try to kill him.
It's the shrink ray S.
Oh my God. Jeez, Netflix, go ahead, make that TV show. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I've got season 2 already baked in for you. He shrinks enough people, they create a tiny civilization, and they start creating technology that fights back.
Oh my God.
Shrink 2, attack of the tiny people.
Attack of the teeny weenies.
Attack of the teeny weenies.
Holy shit. Or you start shrinking him. He builds this tiny prison, and he starts putting them all in the prison, so now you can have Shawshrink.
Oh God.
Shawshrink Redemption. Shawshrink Redemption.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Quotes.
Man, that was good. Man, Brian, you're killing it tonight with these jokes and these titles and everything. You're on a roll, man.
He is. He's on it. Brian's on.
This is what happens when I'm not burning my brain cells on studying and all that stuff. All right, so quotes. I wrote down. Does anyone have quotes, or is it just me?
I've got a couple quotes.
Okay,
but
I'll start off with 50 times. That's like bench pressing a bulldozer. His delivery on it it's so good.
Yes.
Yeah, great line read. I couldn't reenact this line read.
I liked him throughout this entire movie. Like his expression in general was just fantastic.
Yeah.
I do. It does make me laugh every time he screams with the scorpion though.
Yeah.
Like he does not have a good scared scream.
Well, I think it's because he's like scared out of his breath, like truly, truly scared.
It could be, but it makes me laugh every time. And in the spirit of Ron, this is from Russ to him. Blow it out your shorts, Ron.
Yeah.
What?
Blow it out your shorts, Ron.
Oh, blow it out your shorts. Yeah.
I don't know why, but I was like, I just feel like writing this one is that butterfly had a wingspan of 42 feet. He's just nerding out.
I just wonder how he calculates that.
I don't know how he calculates that.
Well, this actually brings me to a question with this.
Sure.
So we've been talking this whole night and complaining about how he's calculated it to be 3.2 miles. Yet at the end of the movie, Wayne he estimates it to be closer to 10 miles.
Oh, I missed that.
He estimates it to be about, he says it's like 10 miles to them.
Oh, he does say that. Yeah.
I think that his math would be much more reliable than Nick's, who's also, like, was it 42 feet long?
42 feet, had a wingspan of 42 feet.
A wingspan of 42 feet. He says something of an inch too, right? Like, I mean, I think his calculations are all wrong from the beginning.
Okay. I like that theory.
I think they're all wrong from the beginning.
Yeah.
I still think that it wouldn't have taken them like an entire day to travel this distance.
No.
But I do think he was wrong.
Which kid had the overall worst experience being not individual, cumulative of what they went through? Who had the worst? Who had it worst?
The girl, she died. She freaking drowned. I mean, like,
okay.
Wait, what? Who?
What was her name? I'm blanking on the sister's name.
It was like Jesse. Damn. No.
Nick Solinsky and
right.
Wow. Now I'm blanking.
Wait, she died. Oh, well, she didn't die, but
Amy
died. Amy. Yep.
Well, okay, but she only had that one thing, right? That was the only thing she had to deal with was drowning.
The only thing she had to deal with.
The only thing she had to deal with was almost dying.
Because so Nick had Flight of the Bumblebee.
Okay.
He had the Cheerio
first. He got Cheerio.
He was the first to be sucked by the snapper.
He fell in the pollen, which, although not a big effect, he was still had a reaction to.
Right. Yeah.
I think, and this is my opinion, the scorpion pincer in the Lego hole, that has to be the scariest shit I've ever seen. Like, we didn't even see it from, but was it Russ that was in there? Who was in there?
Ron.
Ron. It was Ron. He was in there, and like they didn't even show like a POV shot of him with like that scorpion tail like coming at him. That had to like I was like, oh my god, is he gonna die like in this Disney movie?
I mean, yeah. So Ron had that one, but he didn't have anything else happen to him, right?
I don't know. I was just trying to think of like the worst instance, like the worst attack.
Yeah, it's a tough call. Because Nick clearly went through the ringer on this adventure. He went through a lot to the point where his dad almost ate him.
Yeah. See, okay, I think it's the difference of like near death. For me, I don't think anything tops drowning, right? Like that's
right.
It's not fair. You literally died. Somebody had to save you.
And bring you back. Right.
Somebody had to save you. Like that's
Yeah.
the worst. But as far as like experiencing while completely conscious and terrified and living through it, I'd probably give it to Nick for sure.
Yeah. But man, I don't know. That scorpion is
Russ goes through a little bit because I mean he's kind of in it all. I mean he's also the one he dives in. He's got to find Amy.
right.
Like how awful is that?
God.
If you don't find her.
Yeah, it was that was a rough journey.
When you boil it down, like this is like you call it a horror film, but this was in a day when I think Disney had balls.
Yeah, I agree.
They I don't even want to say that like they weren't afraid to be edgy. I'm like, this was what it was. This was normal. And it's gotten so soft.
It makes you wonder what a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie nowadays would look like.
Probably very
Well,
like
you know what?
PC.
Give it 6 months. Give it 6 months. There's going to be an announcement of something similar.
Some reboot.
Something similar that's going to be shrinking stuff.
Yeah.
We got to shrink down and go back in time to save the Declaration of Independence from being signed by Nick Cage.
What? Is that a real plot, or did you just make that up?
That is the most outlandish thing I could come up with. That is nothing but cliches of things used by Disney.
Wow. And prevent the Declaration of Independence from being signed? Oh my god.
By Nick Cage.
Oh Jesus.
Nick
It's
Cage.
so funny.
Or terrorists have found where the football is. Let's shrink it. They'll never get our missiles now.
Wait, have you guys seen The Boys? The show The Boys on Amazon?
Only the first season, but I have been informed that it only gets more incredible and more graphic from there.
Okay, in the like the third season, I think, or second, I think the third season. Essentially, there's a character that can shrink himself down to essentially the same size as the characters in this film. There's like some fucked up shit that happens when shrinking.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it on here, but I highly recommend that show if you guys want to watch it. But, yeah,
if I'm not mistaken,
I think I'd be down with a series, like a series where someone gets shrunk and all they're doing is their mission is to try to come back to normal size, but it is prolonged to where we're talking like 10 episodes, Netflix, maybe even a couple seasons before it actually happens. I would love to see the world of a tiny person. Fully thought out, script written, all that. I think it'd be really interesting.
I want to recommend The Borrowers to you.
Oh, I've seen that.
That's one of my favorite examples of like a tiny society.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love it.
All right. My last quote that I wrote, I'm gonna have to try to nail the way that he says it. It kills me every time.
I've got more after you.
Veal parmaggi.
When does this happen?
It's what he's doing. He's doing his camping checklist. And he's talking about all the things that he's got, and he's like this, and he looks at, I'm guessing it's like a veal parmesan dinner, and he goes, veal parmaggi.
Okay.
I don't remember that at all.
I don't either,
it's
but just
great.
like so casually butchering the Italian. I love it.
Just completely butchered it. Yeah.
Veal parmaggi.
Veal parmaggi.
Veal parmaggi le funyuns.
Hey.
You gotta add some funyuns. Yeah.
Funyuns.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Tony, you got
I'm glad
the
Matt
veal
got it
parmaggi?
there.
Funyun.
Tony, you got that veal parmaggi? I need it. Pronto.
You don't bring funyuns to Italy, God.
Do they have Funyuns there?
Yeah.
Just saying. But my last quote, it's Russ. The early worm catches the fish. Remember that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. There catches the fish.
The early worm catches the fish. Remember that.
Remember that.
The early worm catches the fish. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. I like it.
Oh,
That's it. So
that's all I got.
final thoughts, fellas.
Yeah.
Volunteers?
I'll go. Final thoughts. Yeah, I mean, I still stand that this is like a decent movie. It's got some good moments that make me laugh, but are just kind of ridiculous. And what we do is we break down the ridiculousness of it. So it kind of ruins it for me a little bit. Like, just let it be fun and ridiculous. God, like, who cares?
I don't know why you take it so seriously.
But like, I will say after this talk, there are, like, you guys have convinced me, like, there are some scenes that are just still really well done. Like, I have a more positive outlook on this movie now than just watching it. So I would probably change my score to be a little bit higher, like closer to like a 3.9. But I still think that there's a lot of room for improvement, and hopefully we'll see that in the sequels. So Matt, you kind of set the expectation that the sequels get better. So we'll see if it lives up.
I never said better. All I said was more.
More. Well, more usually means better.
Hey, that is up to interpretation. I said
That's what I said. Then we will see.
Things get bigger.
Yeah. And we always like bigger, don't we?
it's better. That'd be great. I I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. What wins it for me though? Whew. Man. I don't know. I might have to go with Jens on this one. I think Auntie wins it. Like I said, like he started out as the villain. He got tamed to be an ally and then became the hero that sacrificed himself. Like, it's just a great character. Like, it's a great character arc for Auntie. So yeah, I'll have to give it to Auntie. What?
Auntie was never the villain.
Well, in the beginning, like, he was an enemy.
Auntie was never the villain.
I said enemy.
He was not.
In the very beginning, he was attacking them.
They attacked him.
Whatever, they were attacking each other.
He found the cookie. He was taking the cookie. They attacked him.
I gave you cookie, gave you cookie.
I'm just saying, if you're going to be giving the win to Auntie, you show the respect that he was a gentle ant. He only protected himself. He was not an aggressor. He died a fucking hero, you son of a bitch.
Okay, that part we already established that we agreed on. But he did attack them and they attacked him, like, in the beginning. Fight me. Anyway, Auntie wins it for me.
All right.
Kugler over here with his nonsense.
Now you want me to go or?
I don't care.
Go, Brian.
Well, I just looked at I did forget one really quick nitpick.
Okay.
I'm going to mute myself now.
They missed the title drop and it bugs the shit out of me every time. You know how much I love when they do a title drop in the movie.
Like in text form or like in
No,
vocal?
when they actually say it.
When they say it?
Yeah.
I think I might know what you're talking about.
In this movie, he straight up says, I shrunk the kids.
Yes, yeah.
Why did you not put honey in front of that?
Like, I needed like a 180 head turn.
Oh my God, we had 4 out of 5. It's a true nitpick of mine. I'm like, how do you not drop honey? I shrunk the kid. It's right there. Honey, pause. I shrunk the kids.
And the best way to do it is when he's up there in that attic he does like a 180 degree head turn like towards the door, like towards like the camera cuts to behind him. He's like, "Honey, I shrunk the kid." Like a dramatic head turn. Like that would have been perfect.
No, I think what he should have done was he should have grabbed Diane by the shoulders and then broke the fourth wall and looked at the camera and said, "Honey, shrunk the kids."
Honey, I shrunk the kids. Like he's just like shaking her.
And he's like, and I broke my couch. Oh man. All right. Final thoughts. I mean, yeah, it's not, I said it, it's not a 5-star, this will blow you out of the water movie. It's creative, it's fun. The use of props is great. The fact that they make you feel truly, or make you, the audience, feel like they're truly small, I think they did a fabulous job. My runner-up, it's gonna go to Cork. Just great dog. I mean, did everything he possibly could to get people's attention and you know, to save. I mean, he truly saved Nick from being eaten. So I mean, Cork is just loyal dog all the way. But I'm going with everybody. I knew it right off the bat. I knew it before we even started this, that my winner was going to be Auntie. It kills me that they actually go with a death for Auntie. And I mean, I guess maybe it makes us care about Auntie a little bit more because of it, but he definitely steals this movie big time. Good job, Auntie.
I have just a super random thing that I just thought of because Brian, you were talking about Cork.
Yeah.
What if, and I know this is like one more thing for one of us to do for GoodFlickas, but what if we had this like cool little thing where every time we watch a movie that has a dog in it, that has a role, like kind of as a character role, we'll have like a list for like each year. Like, so 2024, you could put Cork, and then the next movie that has a dog, we'll write that dog's name, and then at the end of the year, we'll do like a tier list, or like the dog winner of the year, like who was like the best dog, and then like we'll vote or something. I don't know.
Small caveat.
Yeah.
Can we open it up to more than just the dog and just
like
be
pets?
Like just
animals,
animal, like top animal?
Okay.
Because I think Auntie should be in the mix.
I like it.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you want to take it a step further, yeah, go ahead. I was just suggesting dogs just to keep it a little bit simpler, but
this is me amending the original idea.
Yeah.
I like it.
I won't keep the list. So I was asking you, Brian, if it's something that you want to do, like if you want to add it like a column in your Excel spreadsheet for like each year, you know, if you want to just do the dogs of GoodFlickas or the animals of GoodFlickas or something. I don't know.
And at the end of the year, when we have the full list of animals, we'll rank them as who are the best.
Yes, we'll do like a tier list. Like
who are the best animals.
Yeah.
So this one's going to be Auntie and Cork then, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Nice. Added.
We haven't done anything else this year with animals, have we?
Mario Brothers, no. Well, I don't think Mario Brothers really counts, but
no, because I mean, I would argue for Yoshi, but Yoshi wasn't there, so
yeah.
Con Air was next.
Con Air, right? Con Air.
No animal.
Yeah, I can't think of
Blues Brothers, no animal.
Straight Outta Compton.
No animals.
No animal.
Okay.
Oh no, there were. There was the barking dog that was terrorizing.
I mean,
like characters. Like
it wasn't a character,
not just a dog.
Not like cameos.
Yeah.
And
the Irishman
cameo is a dog being a dog. Oh
just
my God,
dog.
did you see that Rottweiler? Like, oh yeah, I can't believe Roddy was on there, man.
Yeah. The Irishman, none either.
The Irishman.
Yep. So we got Auntie, Cork.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
And Auntie. All right. Well, we got two in the mix.
Yeah. It was just a fun idea. I thought we'd come up with.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
All right. That's on me now, I suppose, huh?
It is.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm glad that we're reliving them. I hope we enjoy the trilogy if Jin continues it. But I this is just a fun series for me. It's always such a great idea. I love I love the movies with tiny people. Like The Borrowers has always been one of my favorite movies. I've been searching for it forever. I bought it last year. Like I love the idea of the like tiny people in a big world. It's so fascinating to see that sort of perspective. And this movie does an incredible job of it. The series does a great job of taking this idea of what does it mean to be big? What does it mean to be small? Like, and what are the implications of that? How does that affect? It's fun sci-fi, and it's just that. Like this is classic sci-fi idea, and it's just that. Yeah. Really enjoyed this. Great talk with you guys. I'm looking forward to next week. For who wins the movie, I am going to do a Auntie is getting my runner up. And that's only because to me the special effects, the textures of like grass and I'm literally everything of them, the Legos, the cream pie, all of that stuff that they made to put real people in a giant world and make it realistic and feel real. They nailed it. And that's where I think they get the credit is it's so incredible how they made real people feel tiny and realistic. So they win it for me. The art and props department, set department. I mean, the guys that made it all happen.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for tonight with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Great chat, everybody. Tune in next week as we dive into Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. I'm excited. We are diving into the Honey series, and hopefully it's a good time for all. So tune in next week as we do that here at Twitch at GoodFlickas. You can check us out on Instagram at good.flickas, and you can see us on YouTube, some older shows. New ones will be posting soon. Just keep it with us, but give us a like, give us a share, send us to our friends. Get some clips out there. We know we're funny. Remind us how great we are. But
We know we're funny.
I know we're funny. We're silly. But yeah, check us out on YouTube at GoodFlickas, and you can send us an email. Let us know how we're doing. Give us some positive feedback. We also take donations because we need your money. We don't need your money, but we wouldn't say no to it, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't say no to it. Am I begging?
Money, please.
Yeah, there it is. My money.
Money,
God, this is getting sad. I'm gonna wrap this up. You can send us emails, believe it or not, at goodflickas2020@gmail.com. But that's gonna do it. Tune in next week for Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Brian, can you wrap us up, sir?
R.I.P. Auntie. R.I.P.
Pour one out for the homie.
And pour one out for the homie. And cheerio, GoodFlickas fans. We'll see you next week.
Cheerio.
Pop cheerio.